guys. Welcome to Feature Creatures DTF. I am one half of your host, Jordana. And as always, I am joined by my amazing co host, Sam. Sam,
Hello, how are you doing, Jordana, on this cold, frigid night?
I am much better now that I'm here with you and not clenching every body part driving home because there's a snowstorm happening in New York. So, woohoo.
Well, I'm glad you made it home safe.
Thank you. Can I just say, though, I fucking hate winter.
I will say I am with you every step of the way. This season sucks.
I hate it. And my friend broke it down to us in a text message about we should be like bears and hibernate in the winter, and they should compensate us because that's the time that we have to recharge and refuel like the bear does. So human mammals should be doing the same thing.
I mean, I'm 100% for winter break as an adult. Yes. I'm in favor of any time where you're like, yeah, they're gonna pay you to not go to work. Okay, yeah. But I'm with you. I hate it. Like, I hate it just because most work can be done from home. If it if it can't be, then that's on the business. That's not on the worker. It's the roads it's dangerous to go to work. If you work with the public, you're basically just showing up to hang out because nobody's going to go there.
That's pretty much what we did. Pretty much what I did tonight. And oddly enough, like most of my shift, it was dead. And it was just like my girlfriends and I talking. And then like right around 7:25, a bunch of people came in and I'm like, don't you have anything better to do than like come in during a snowstorm?
Yeah. I mean, some people are just, they don't care.
No.
But I hate it. I hate anywhere where it hurts to be outside, like physically hurts. You got to you got to add an extra 30 minutes because you got to shovel your fucking driveway.
Yes.
I can't even walk my dog. Like, I took Ripley on a walk today. We made it down the street, and then like he got some ice or some shit in his paw, so then he started limping. So I'm like, let's go back home.
Yep.
So I can't even walk the dog. Like,
and it's just like warm weather, please. I need sunshine. I don't even care about if it's like past 65 degrees. Like, just please give me something that's not cold.
I'm fine with the other 3 seasons: spring, summer, fall. I'll take all 3 of them, but winter can suck a fat one.
The fattest of the fatties. I always say, if I ruled the world, Art the Clown would be our president. No, I'm just kidding. I would do.
For the listeners, we are showing off our recent Art the Clown purchases we've made. Yes. Mine being a T-shirt and Jordana's being a keychain, I believe.
Those are
earrings. A pin? Earrings. Oh, yes. Okay.
I wore them to work tonight, and some old lady's like, "Who is that on your ear?" I'm like, "It's a murdering clown. It's Art the Clown." You stupid bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
Haven't you heard of him?
Yeah.
You dumb asshole.
I'm sure. What's so funny is I'm sure there are people, like elderly people, and have no desire to know horror that probably know of this clown because he's just such a phenomenon right now. Like, it's crazy.
I'd say, yeah, probably. There's probably some that know of him because they see him. But like, I'll say, like, my parents have absolutely no idea who he is. They've never heard of the Terrifier movies. Like when because I got my 3 new little filler tattoos. They're very small, but I got a little art, and they definitely knew who Ghostface was. Good. They had no idea who Sam from Trick or Treat was, and they had never even heard of Terrifier. They're like, oh, okay, like whatever.
Oh, man,
I could have played it off. I should have just been like, I became a juggalo at 36.
You totally should have been like, well, welcome to the club. You should have, during the holidays, you should have been like, I have a really good, like, warm feeling family movie. And you should have put Terrifier 3 in and started the beginning and been like, hey.
My dad probably would have dug it. My dad digs crazy movies.
Love that.
My mom depends on what they're about, but...
Would you be okay with a murdering clown that kills children on Christmas Eve?
I think I'd be fine with that. She always would watch the horror movies with me and my brother when we were growing up. So she saw like all the Friday the 13th and all that shit.
I love that. Yeah. Cool mom crew.
Well, so before we get into the meat of the episode, which is going to be the coming slate of movies for 2025, we always talk what we've been digesting since our last episode. What new movies have we seen? New things have we watched? Maybe rewatched. What have you been consuming lately, Jordana? And what was the good, the bad, and what
The
else?
ugly.
Yeah.
Oh man, I've been watching a lot, Sam. I've been watching a good portion of movies.
I mean, that's one of the benefits of winter is that it's a great
Mhm.
excuse to sit inside and do absolutely nothing.
Exactly, and like try to not leave the house at all costs. Like if you
Yeah.
don't have to that day, like just don't do it.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, you said you've been power watching, so
yes. So to start this off, I will start with a controversial statement, but I did see Nosferatu.
Mhm.
And I was so excited for it. And I just I don't know, like I I don't think it's a bad movie. I don't think that the performances were bad. I actually think the performances were top tier, like really well done, the cinematography, but for me it was just so bland. Like even with, you know, all the things that happen in it, it just did you see it yet?
no, and I will say I have no desire to see it.
Okay. And that's fair because I mean like it's either it's like the most hype for people, but again, I think a lot of people just keep saying, "Oh, this is my favorite." You know what I mean? Like, "Oh, this is gonna be the best movie. This is the best movie." It just felt like it wasn't scary to me. Like I just saw something on some post that on Rotten Tomatoes for the scare factor, it gave it 94%. I'm like, I would have given it like a 4%. Like, I don't think it was scary really truly at all.
I mean, I just to me, it has for me now. Again, I can tell, I can look at it. It's the same for all of Eggers, I think is his name, the
Yep.
director. All of his movies, I look at them and I'm like, they're beautiful. They have good. They're well made.
Hmm.
It's just I always find them a fucking bore fest.
Yes, like give me some pacing.
So I didn't see it, but I have no desire to see it. My friends already told me everything because I was like, all right. And I'll be honest with you, I only know one person who gave it like a perfect glowing review. Everybody that I know had at least something that they were like my one friend who is a dude and
Mhm.
like he's my work friend, and be honest with you, like half of what we talk about is like sex. He's
Yeah.
like he one of his review, he's like I gotta be honest with you, he's like I thought there was too much sex in the movie. He's like I couldn't believe that I'm gonna say that, but he's like I got bored by sex. Like
Because it's the way that it's used in this movie is like it's not like when you think of it, it's not what you anticipate it to be because it's like the moving along of the storyline. I don't know. It was just like Lily Rose Depp gave a really good performance, but I was just so bored majority of the time. And then when it actually like hits that climax and it like hits that middle part where it's like, okay, it just it's there and then it loses steam. For me, I mean, I see people giving this like pristine reviews. I see the and I'm glad. I'm glad that you think it's a perfect movie, but like for me, it was just it wasn't it.
I mean, I have no room. I'm not giving it a score because I didn't see it, but I don't really plan on ever. Wait. There's a minor spoiler I'm going to ask about. So if you don't want to know about it, fast forward about literally 15 seconds. Going
Yes.
now. Don't you see a dick in this movie though?
You see a vampire dick.
All right.
Now or what?
I am gonna when it hits HBO Max, I'm gonna go to that scene.
Yeah,
That's the only scene I want to see.
you totally need to. And I will say this though, Bill Skarsgård, like he is such a like well-rounded actor because from him to be like I watched and I won't talk about this one, but I watched Villains with him and Micah Monroe.
Mm-hmm.
And then you think of like Barbarian, then you think of Pennywise, and you think of like The Crow. He's just been in so many like fucking weird movies, but he gives such a good performance and he's such a good actor. And like watching the press tour and him talk, he just seems like a cool dude. So like I will give him his flowers for his performance in it because his dialect and what he had to do to be Count Orlok was amazing. But like I wish we would have seen more of that and more gore. Like I wish we would have seen more of like a gothic, gory love story than a 2.5 hour like
Romance
slow-paced
movie.
Yeah, yeah. It's
I
weird.
so I have thoughts on Bill Skarsgård. I think I'm too hard on him because of a few reasons. Number
Mhm.
one, I think he's the female Jenna Ortega. Like anytime they're like spooky gothic movie, let's call the guy with the weird bone structure.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And
I like that.
women love him, so that's a benefit.
Yeah.
But also I think because he's played two iconic characters that he
Mm-hmm.
did, I think, an inferior fucking job on, which to me would be Pennywise and the Crow, which I'm still laughing about that. Go fuck yourself. Not you. That's just
No,
for
but, yes.
the whole movie, The Crow. I'm still laughing that it failed spectacularly.
Yep.
But I think that those two movies make me like go like, I don't like that guy. But I do recognize, because like I forget that he's even in Barbarian until you said it. I'm like, yeah, so he is in some stuff that I do like.
Yes. And I think I like him better when he's not the main focal point. Do you know what I mean? Like when he's not playing the antagonist in such a I like him, like I loved his demeanor in Barbarian. Like it fit very well. It was so believable, and then like I totally thought it was that motherfucker because like you said, he's the General Ortega. So I'm like, they're gonna make him the bad guy this time because that's pretty much his role. And then when it flipped, and also spoiler, I'm so sorry, I should have disclosed that for if you haven't seen Barbarian, but like I kind of liked him being the mouse with the cat and mouse. So but yeah, so and then do you want to do like I don't want to like keep going with mine, but I want to say the other one just because it kind of counteracts with it.
Yeah, go right. I mean, go right ahead. Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
I would ask you this. Going with our thoughts on Nosferatu.
Mm-hmm.
Would you? I feel like we would be in the same boat, and I don't. So correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like we're both would be so into these type of movies, these old school monster movies, if they were more, instead of going for like this dark gothic slow paced romance thing, if they went more for like a Hammer film, like the more gothic but fun, bloody,
Yes.
like
Yes.
like more fun versions that were made in like the 70s. I feel like if we went with something like, which I'm hoping for, that,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like we'd have a much better chance of getting that with Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein than we
There you
do
go.
with Eggers' vampire sex movie.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I'm hopeful for
Yeah.
is that we get a really good Universal monster movie with him, and that will set the tone so people can actually see, like, you don't have to have it be this dry fucking boring paste, you know what I mean, and then like have everyone give it like it's the most critically acclaimed movie of the year. Like I don't get it. So
Don't you just, and I got a controversial one on my list, so don't worry. But I feel like there's certain movies that just like after a while, when I see such glowing reviews, I'm like, is it just because people are like afraid to say that there's
Yes.
even like, not that it's bad, but like there's issues, and then like whatever. We'll get to my. I have three. I have a good, a fucking awful, and a kind of in the middle one, and that middle one's going to be controversial. Anyway,
love that though, because I love the range, because I think pretty much same for me. I have like one that I really didn't care for, which is Nosferatu, one that I actually fucking love, but it was a rewatch, and then a newer one that I watched that I enjoyed, but like of course it gets like the worst reviews because people don't know how to have fun anymore in movies. People don't know how to like decipher like a serious tone. Like movies can be funny, and movies can make no sense, and movies can be like stupid on purpose to entertain, because that's what a movie is. It's entertainment. We're still losing that momentum of like, let's have things be fun again, and not this like serious tone. So to your point though, there's a I forgot, and I'm not going to say the name, but there was a big horror influencer, quote unquote influencer, horror influencer, that made a post about how this was her like most anticipated. She talked it up the whole time, and then after she watched it, she felt like something was missing. And it's like, yeah, you didn't like it that much, so be honest and say, hey, I was really excited for this movie. I had high hopes because this is right up my alley. It looks like my wheelhouse, but it did not deliver. Like, what is wrong with saying that?
there's nothing wrong with it. I do feel like there's certain. My dog is going to town on a bone
I love it. Ripley's like,
under the camera, so it is bouncing the. Okay, Ripley, get out of there. All right. Yes, I do get annoyed by it because I feel like people kiss certain movies ass, like just because like if you don't like, oh, maybe you'll be considered like I'm gonna be honest. Like the one I'm gonna poo-poo on a little bit, but I enjoyed. Like
Yeah.
I think some people didn't like it because like if you don't like it, then maybe you'll just you're worried that you'll get claimed that you're not like woke or you're not like in with
Mhm.
the times. And it's like you can be, and you can also just not think that this particular movie delivered in the way that you had hoped it would. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. And there's people dissect the reason why people don't like things so much more than the reason they liked it. You know what I mean? Like, give me the reasons you like it, but they don't want to hear that. They just want to say, "Oh, 5 stars. Oh, you think it was the most anticipated, and you're saying it's great, cool." But like, whenever someone disagrees, it's like, "But why?" It's like, it's my fucking taste.
Uh,
It didn't hit for me.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm gonna segue here, but there was like
Yeah.
like a slightly viral, at least in the horror community, like TikTok that I saw going around that a lot of people were sharing, and like
Mhm.
it's perfectly fine that you like this movie or don't like this movie, but it was like the sentiment of it was basically like if you don't like Midsummer, you're probably a man because straight men are the only ones who don't like Midsummer. And I'm like, and they're like, because you don't get it. And I'm like, that's fine. I can only come at it from my perspective as a straight man, but like,
Right.
but like, so, but also, I know plenty of people who saw that movie of all genders, creeds, sex, colors, and all had a myriad of thoughts on it, good and bad. And I'm
Yep.
like, so I was like, why do you have to shrink it down to be like, oh, you got to fit your
It's
demographic
this.
and fit your narrative when it could just be like as simple as I liked the movie, I didn't like the movie.
It, it wasn't my cup of tea. I really enjoyed it because for me, I am a straight woman and I don't like Midsummer. So I don't like it's not for me. Ari Aster's not for me. Hereditary, I know this is blasphemous to say. Toni Collette, she deserves her flowers for that movie, but like I have not rewatched Hereditary since the first time I watched it because it's a one and done for me. Like, yes, it did something to me, but I don't think it's as great as everyone hypes it up to be. I'm sorry.
I don't think the majority of those movies I don't think are as great. I think it's just there's like a train that you get on, and some
Yeah.
people can't. And I don't know, and that's fine. And you like what you like. I mean, I'm not going to tell you don't like, and I can tell anyone, hey, you like this, don't like it. Like, go ahead and like it, but don't fucking make me feel like I'm inferior or there's because of something about me that makes this me not like the movie. It could just be I don't like the fucking movie.
Exactly. And I also hate too, you just don't get it. What the fuck is there to get? Like
Yeah.
it's unpacking trauma. I have my own trauma. I don't want to think about other people's fucking trauma while I'm trying to get entertained and not think about the shit that has happened in my life. Do you know what I mean? Like it's so I hate it.
I thought, and yeah, and I'm sorry, it's for Midsummer as well. This will piss off some Midsummer fans because they always get their buttholes hurt when you say
Mhm.
this. I
Mhm.
liked the movie better when it was called The Wicker Man because it's pretty much the same goddamn movie, but whatever.
Pretty much. Exactly. But no one talks about it. You know, it was so groundbreaking. Da da da. It's like
It's
whatever.
Wicker Man with a woman.
Yes, and you know
That's
what? And,
what it is.
but I will say this: Florence Pugh I love her.
I
I
love her.
love
I
her.
love her. I like
Mhm.
and was it Yes, Darling or
Don't worry, darling.
Don't Worry, Darling. Like that movie was one of my favorite movies of the year. I love
Me
Florence Pugh
too.
as an actor and at least who she presents herself to be in interviews, which some
Yes.
people I don't like when they get that side. She seems
Hmm.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, and then I would love to hang out with her and have a beer, just like
Yeah.
chill, because I feel like she'd be like one of the guys. But needless to say, I'm so sick of. I hope it changes. I really this hype train and like this fear of like not fitting into like the circle of um the people that think, oh, brand, this is the best movie and this is like, if you're cool you'll like this. It's like, no, like I'm going to like what I like and I'm not going to listen to what the fuck you have to say.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. But I
What
want to
what, what
no,
else you been watching?
I want to hear your movie. We'll do a ping pong back and forth because mine can just, I can tie it back, but
My
I want to hear from
controversial
you.
one, the one again, did not hate it. This is we'll get to the hate later. This is the middle run where I wanted it to be really really good. I wanted to like it. It was one of my most look forward to movies of last
Mhm.
year.
Yeah.
And then I saw it and I had some problems. And that was The Substance. I finally saw it. I rented it
Right.
last night and I know you've seen it.
Mhm. I have, but you didn't see me hyping that shit up, did you? You didn't see me being like,
You kind of warned me.
yeah, it's
You,
long.
it's long. Um, I again, I can recognize that it's a well-made movie. It's well shot.
Yep.
The acting and it's great. Demi Moore fucking deserves everything that she's getting for it.
Phenomenal. Yes.
That being said, I think that the plot, it's way too fucking long.
So long. So long.
And for someone who loves body horror, like I know a movie that you saw recently, so I don't know if it's on your list, so I'm not going to take it. But like I love like Cronenberg movies. Like I love that shit. The Thing, fucking all the monsters. Be honest with you, the worst part of the fucking movie is the last half hour where all that shit really kicks off. Like it's ludicrous.
It's ludicrous, but there's a part of me that would love to have seen that craziness throughout, maybe to keep me like invested, because I was so bored with everything else because it's so long. If it was like an hour and 45-minute movie and it had craziness throughout, I think I might have enjoyed it more. But oh my God, Sam, it was just like getting to that point felt like forever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Again, if you had made the whole movie crazy, I probably would have been more into it as a fun movie. But I get what they're going for with their message, which like it's not like, you know, like people are like praising it. I'm like, it's pretty like it's not like a thinly veiled message. You can see like women get judged by their age and they feel no shit.
Yeah, like that's and especially in the industry that they are in and portraying, because they are truly playing themselves in it. Like we understand that you're under a microscope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's inevitable. You're going to age, and I loved the message of like, for me, my take back was like just kind of like, look at what you've accomplished, look at what you've done, look at your, like, I felt like she, was paving the way, but also too, of course, it's going to weigh heavy on you because aging isn't fun.
No.
It's not. When the older you get, it's just not it's not fun. But I think like it's showing to embrace your life and to like not
And just
I don't know.
and be who you are. I think truthfully, it's just be happy with who you are.
Mhm.
I mean, overall, I think it's a fairly, you can interpret it a couple ways, but pretty basic shit. It's not like super deep messages here.
Thank you. It's not elevated.
No. But I will say, my favorite part of the movie, spoiler alerts if you haven't seen it,
Yes.
I liked the part of them just switching back and forth. Like, and I found that very interesting. When I really started to be like, wait, what the fuck? Is like when all of a sudden they're two completely separate people, but I'm like, wait, how did that happen? Because you've shown that it is just one mind transferring between the two. So how is there all of a sudden now two people? Like, you know what I mean? Like there was never an explanation given. So as soon as that happened, that's when I was like, okay, I'm starting to disconnect here.
Yep. And then you felt like you're losing it, right?
Yeah. And also I'll say another thing, and this is a small thing, and I feel weird saying it, but I'll be honest. I feel like if this was made by a man, they would have bitched about the level of nudity in this movie, because there's a lot of fucking nudity in this movie. Like not just from the main characters, like in the end scene, there's just titties everywhere. And I'm like, what is going on?
I know. And there's one point too, because Margaret Qualley or whatever her name is, like she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
She's got a great physique, but like the amount of like booty shaking and everything, I could have done with like a 1 minute montage of like her dancing and stuff. But the amount of time that I watched her like get down, I'm like, I don't care. Like I don't care.
Deanna came outside at one point when I was watching it, because I was watching it in the garage, and she was, she's like, what is this? I'm like, oh, it's a substance, and she's like, this looks like a porno. She's like, she's like, I'm pretty sure I saw in that girl's butthole, and I was like, I mean, like, I was like, it's the feminist movie of the year, darling.
But all the time, like, I'm not enjoying it like that. Like this isn't really doing anything for me.
Yeah, and I'm not shaming any of them.
No.
Demi Moore looked great for her. I mean, for her age, she's always looked great. But like, I mean, I never thought we'd see Demi play a role like this again.
I know.
I'm just saying they all look great. Everybody looked great. I just was like, the level of nudity, like I get that the two main, that Demi and young Demi have to be naked to transfer, you know, I get that kind of just inherently, but
Yeah.
then like just the amount of like superfluous, like here's some other tits, I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, like
I know. I'm just like, and I'm all for tits. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I love tits in any regard, whatever.
yeah,
But
nothing wrong with it.
I was tapped out, and then the running time. I think I passed out like in the middle of it, and like what's his name? Dennis Quaid with like the shrimp and all that. Like it just so weird, and I get it. I know what they were trying to do, like making him because he's greedy and fucking
And
and
his
all
name
the
is Harvey.
yep, and exactly what they were doing, but also like
You know,
I
it's
don't
supposed to be
know.
played by Ray Liotta, right? And I'm like, so
I did
apparently
not
Ray
know.
Liotta, from what I read, Ray Liotta had filmed for the movie, but then he passed away. So then they had to bring in at the 11th hour Quaid,
Mr.
who did
Dennis Quaid.
good. But
Yeah,
I love Ray Liotta, and I think Ray Liotta would have fucking ate that scenery up.
1,000%. And then the positive that I will say about The Substance, though, it has nothing to do with the movie directly, but like with the inspirations. Like, have you seen the shots of like the hallway and then The Shining, and
Mhm.
how like each the psycho scene where the girl when she's on Janet's on the floor, and the similarities. I love the parallels of like iconic horror movies and like what they did with
The little
The
homages
Substance.
they threw in there.
Yes, I really enjoyed that because it was a beautiful, like a visually beautiful movie to watch.
Mhm.
But other than that, and like I'm a female. I get it. It's not like I'm anti-female, anti-feminine. Like that's not me. But I just entertainment wise, it was okay. It was not. I don't even think it wasn't on my list, my top 10 for this year.
It wouldn't be in mine either. I'll be honest, like if I'm giving it a real score, I'd go like 6.5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. Like I didn't hate that I watched it. I did. Again, there was good parts to it, but
Mm.
I personally think that this is a movie that is getting more hype than it probably really deserves, and it's because of the messaging.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some people are maybe afraid to really truthfully be honest with them with their opinion, because I feel like this is a movie, like I'll be my future sister-in-law's
Mm-hmm.
her brother, I don't know if I said that he's a film critic for a living,
Oh wow, I love
and
that.
he gave Wicked a not bad review, but he gave it a mixed review because he didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
People will not, like, for like a month straight, we're just like going to his social media and just destroying him because
Really?
yeah, and because you went against the grain. You didn't say Wicked was the best fucking movie you've ever seen. Oh my God, you suck at your job.
And I commend him for that. I
Yeah.
applaud him. If I could stand up right now, I would. I mean, I can stand up, but I'm not going to. I would do a standing ovation for him because good for you for speaking your truth, and shame on everyone for like being an asshole and harassing him because he didn't like something. And also poo poo on Wicked. Like I have no desire to see it. After our conversation, that there's another what was it, like a 4.5 hour movie? Like
Yeah, and a part two coming out
yeah, like
November of next year.
whatever, fuck all that shit. I'm just like I'm so sick of this, like you have to do this to fit in with this, and you have to like this to make like no, like I like cheesy 80s movies. They keep me entertained. They're fun. Like
Yeah, and it's not that I can't. It's not like, oh, people are probably some people will probably listen to this or watch this and be like, well, those people are just too stupid to get these movies. I like some movies that are deep. I trust me, I do. It's just
and I get them.
sometimes yeah, when I think that they're totally well made in every aspect, script, acting, directing,
Mhm.
everything has to add up. When
Yeah.
one or two of those pieces isn't working, it's not a perfect movie. Might not be a bad movie, but it's not a perfect movie.
And also too, like it's divisive. So like it could be perfection to you and it could be a flop to me and vice versa. Like it could be exactly what you want and then it could be you know what I mean? Like it's just I think we're losing sight of that. Like people are entitled to have their own opinions. Like that was the beauty of when I feel like it wasn't even that long ago, 2022 when I started my page. The
Mhm.
beauty of it was the oh, I'm glad that you said this because I felt this way. Oh, you know what I mean? Like I felt like it was even keel back then. So to jump from 2022 to 2024 and have it be as bad as it is, that says a lot. Like, what are we
Yeah.
doing?
Like, shit's getting wild, Jordana. I
It
don't know.
is. It is. It is being. And you know what though? With all of it, I'm still gonna stay true to myself, and I'm gonna tell you how it is. I'm gonna tell
I,
you how I feel, and if you agree with some of my opinions or Sam's, then that's awesome. But like, don't try to come for us because we don't care.
yeah, no, we don't care.
We truly don't.
But all right, so you said you had another one. You're kind of in the same boat of love and middle and god awful.
This is my love. This is my love, and I can gush about this. I'll try to keep it to a minimum, but we rewatched 30 Days of Night, and oh my God. Like, I don't know if it wasn't, I can't even like remember the last time I watched, and I know that I enjoyed it. Like, I know I liked it the first watch and like so on, but this watch, I don't know what it was, why I was so mesmerized by it, but like, that movie, I almost gave it a perfect score on Letterbox because I was like, it did something for me. Like, okay, ready? I get so excited talking about it because it made
I'm
my
ready.
soul so happy.
I haven't seen it like since it came out, so
Okay,
and I did enjoy it. By the way, I enjoyed it, but it was
good.
one that and then I was like on in the background at parties. I might see like
Mhm.
parts of it, but I haven't watched it in total since like it initially hit, like at that time probably like fucking box blockbuster.
Right. Yeah, and I feel like it was so long ago when it came out that I watched it when it first came out in that realm. And then I know I rewatched it a couple times and I liked it because it's I was like, it's
It's
a
fun.
vampire movie. No, I'm declaring it my favorite vampire movie because it's so fucking good. Okay, so ready?
I am ready.
The
Let's go.
beginning was so parallel to
I just like the way you started. Like are you ready?
you ready?
In the beginning, there was man and
Yeah.
bats.
And then it produced 30 Days a Night.
A little baby named Joshua Hartnett.
In a black beanie, looking sexy as hell. Okay, anyway. So the beginning, to have Ben Foster dress like the cover of the thing with his parka hood, and to have pretty much like the beginning 15 minutes mirror or like pay homage to the thing is amazing, like with the dogs okay, there's going to be heavy spoilers throughout, so if you have not seen 30 Days a Night, fast forward to probably like an hour. No, I'm just kidding. Like 5 minutes, I don't know, a couple minutes past this because I'll keep it light, but um like all the dogs being killed, it just felt very reminiscent of the thing, which you're starting off a movie like that, kudos to you. The dialogue, the actors, the gore, just everything about this movie is so fucking good. It's bleak. Like you just feel helpless when you're
I like the
watching
way
it.
it's shot. I remember liking the color, like the like because it's kind of almost like shot like in like a grayscale, like the
Yes.
coloring's a little off on it, but it
Mhm.
gives it like a really cool effect to it. I always thought was fun.
It was like almost like bluish, like to
Mhm.
me, like a bluish, but like black and white. And then when you add all of the fires and the blood and everything, it just pops so beautifully. And to me, that's like a gothic look that I like. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I watched Nosferatu and I'm like, okay, cool. But then I watched this and this one just like dick punch Nosferatu. Vampire dick punch Nosferatu.
Right in his vampire dick.
Right, Count Orlok's nasty ass dick. But like the one scene that I have to gush about is when the couple is in their house and the main what's his name? The main vampire. I can't think of his name right now. But he bust in and it's like his girlfriend vampire and they kill the couple and he fucking spins the record and he puts his bloody like claw on the record and it's playing the music and they're just getting fucking destroyed. Like they're killing them in the most brutal. They're looking at each other and I'm just like, oh, this is so good. And I was like stressed out but also excited. You know when you get that like
Oh
what
yeah,
is that?
like
Yeah.
You get giddy almost.
Yes, I was so giddy. So then it transitions from the house and they go out into like the road. And then what was it? Oh my God. There was like an aerial shot of the vampires just destroying everyone in the town, but it's above and it's like you see people, it's a continuous shot. And then it was when he delivers the line about when the guy said something like, "Oh God," he's like, "God, there is no God." Or I don't even remember to what he was, but that whole scene from the entry of the house until like the aerial shot of everyone getting obliterated by these vampires. You want to talk chef's kiss, and I'm giving that a fucking 20 out of 10. Like talking about it right now is getting me, I'm like sweaty because it's just so fucking good. I don't know. I loved it.
I remember enjoying it, and I remember it's being very fun. The Thing vibes, I remember that being a big thing because obviously it's winter, it's dark, they're trapped. Which I just rewatched The Thing because I was hit my own blizzard.
Yep.
Chef's kiss, 10 out of 10. But yeah, I will have to rewatch that because I have not seen it in full since it came out, and I feel like that came out like what, around like 2006, 2005, somewhere around there.
Let's see, 2000, 30. And the other thing too is I would really like to read the graphic novel because I know it's based off of one.
Didn't they make like a shitty sequel?
They made a couple shitty sequels. Yeah. But and even like there's action scenes like when the vampires attack the car and they like flip. Oh, it's so good. And like this guy, the director, what was his name? This came out in 2007. Yes,
Yeah.
You're right.
Okay. Yep.
David Slade is the director. And he did Hard Candy, Dark Harvest, Nightmare
I like Hard
Cinema.
Candy.
Twilight Saga Eclipse. He did that. What else did he do?
I've seen it. I can't say it's good, but I've seen it.
I saw it. And he did a lot of music videos too.
Well, I'll have to give it a rewatch because I always remember thinking it was fun, like definitely fun. There's it has like that again, that Thing vibe to it. Kind of, if I remember, it has a little bit of like, to me, like an Aliens vibe because there's like so many vampires like attacking the town and like they're killing each other back and forth, and yeah,
it's crazy. Like just the way that the vampires kill the people, they have to like decapitate them, like rip their heads off. Like that one shot where it's the three workers, and then Josh Hartnett goes back and the guy's head's on a fucking pole. Like it's so gory, and I don't know. I feel like it felt like a first time watch for me because I was so excited. And then afterwards I looked at, and also too, I smoked. So I don't know if that like enhanced it.
I mean, it probably didn't hurt.
I know. It was amazing. But I looked at Greg and I'm like, holy fuck. Like how good was that? And he's like, I know. So that was like the excitement of my movie. Like that one was high up there for my movie watches. So
I will have to give it a rewatch because that's one I definitely would like to see again, and I remember enjoying it. But with as giddy as you are right now, I have to rewatch this.
And Sam gets to see like the facial expressions and
it's not just, there's a whole body movements and gestures, and it's kind of like watching like when Elmo gets really excited and
but you have to rewatch it, and then you have to tell me if I'm crazy or if you, because I feel like
I can't imagine you're crazy. I mean, I liked it. I already liked it. It's been so long that like if you asked me a singular plot point, I could not tell you. I just would be like, Josh Hartnett's there. They're in Alaska.
Yep.
And there's a lot of fucking vampires. That's what I got.
Well, there was this, and I won't say it because you just saying what you did, but I questioned something, and Greg's like, no, da 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 da, and I was like, why can I not remember this? I'm like, because it must have been quite some time that I haven't, rewatched it. So that makes me happy for you because I think we were in this. I was in the same boat. You're going to be in the same boat as me, where it's been a while, but I don't know. Maybe I just appreciate it because I've seen so many like
bad movies.
Yeah, like mediocre.
Yeah.
But anyway, now. Are you going right? Are you going into your?
You did Love, so I'll do Love.
Okay.
I'll do the movie I loved. It was a first time watch for me. It's not brand new, but it's new-ish. I believe from 2019, 2020. I saw The Accountant with Ben Affleck.
Oh,
I don't know
I've
if you.
never seen that. Mm-mm.
So I unabashedly will say this. I don't, and I'm not saying this ironically. Nick Cage is my favorite actor of all time. Ben Affleck is a top 5 actor for me. I love and filmmaker in general.
Mhm, mhm.
I love Ben Affleck. I know some people like to make fun of him. I don't really understand why. He's won like multiple Academy Awards, but whatever. Like,
I
and
don't mind him. I think it's the whole J-Lo thing.
yeah, I mean, they keep getting back together. Like, he's got a bad back tattoo. Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. But the movie, I had no idea what it was about. So I knew it was about him being a hitman. That's the only thing I
Okay.
knew about. So I started watching it,
Mhm.
anticipating a generic hitman movie. And there's a giant twist that I had or not twist, I guess element, not twist if it's in the first fucking scene.
Well, I mean,
And the entire basis of the character is that Ben is playing a severely autistic man. So he's
really?
an extremely he's let me rephrase, not severe. He has autism. But functioning.
Okay.
But he basically has no understanding of human emotion, no understanding of human interaction. And he's playing it very well, but like
Yeah.
in a way that not like, because you could easily write that, like, oh, he's a hitman and like, I am a machine, I kill people, I don't care. No, it's not like that at all. Like he still likes people and he like wants to do good. He just there's a giant disconnect between him and all the people around him because he kind of feels like a fucking alien. And then like Anna Kendrick is in the movie and I love her.
Saw
And
that, yep.
she's kind of like the love interest / damsel in distress. And like the romance between them is very different than what I'm used to seeing because like he doesn't understand what's going on. He doesn't want to be touched, like that kind of thing. And I thought it was played very respectfully for someone portraying autism. And also was a super fun action shoot 'em ups assassin movie. And as I found out today, the sequel is coming out this year, so it will be one of my most look forward to movies of the year.
I saw that too because it's like I looked it up and I saw The Accountant 2 and I'm like, there's a sequel, so maybe I'll have to watch this.
If you like spy movies, action, assassin movies, but I just was like, I think I was annoying Deanna because I was like, Deanna, I'm like, look how good he's playing this autistic person. She's like, I know it's good. Like, and I'm like, but no, like I couldn't believe how good I'm like, it's the best portrayal I've ever seen. I get it. I'm like, okay.
But I need to tell you how good this performance is. Like, listen to me.
I'm like, I can't. Like, I'm like, I know it's a crazy like premise, but I'm like, but I think it's the best portrayal of autism I've ever seen. And she's like,
that's great.
Okay, like chill out. Like.
Because I feel like they totally the other sister. I mean, not like the other sister. The other sister is one of the most like amazing movies ever made because Juliette Lewis and what's his name, Giovanni Ribisi.
I think that's how you say it.
That was amazing. But like, I feel like they always try to like emphasize it so much and like home in on it. But it's nice when it's like subtly done or it's done in a like I don't want to say classy because I'm not saying it's not classy how they do it, but in the way that you were seeing it and viewing it.
Yeah. And I think what I also liked about it is that it wasn't a movie necessarily because most portrayals of someone who has that person's usually looked at as like deficient or the tone of that story can tend to just be darker. Yeah. And in my opinion, I was cool to see a story about someone who happens to be autistic, but placed into like a regular movie. I mean, you could have, if you easily remove that factor, it's still a cool assassin, right, spy movie,
I'm going to watch it because we got Max. And thank God, because they have like Tim and Eric on there and Aqua Teen Hunger Force, like every single season. Yep. So love Max that we fell on that one, but I'm definitely going to watch it because, and it's 2016, so I feel like it's a safe time for like a movie to be made. Do you know what I mean? Like when you look at like what year the movie's from, you're like, okay, the more that you're getting closer to like this year, it could be.
I'll be honest with you. Like I thought about it. I was like, I'm surprised it's getting a sequel because I feel like it takes one person to go online and be like, Ben Affleck shouldn't be playing an autistic person, and and then like a viral shitstorm starts.
Yep. And I feel like this is too in an era where if he would have been not doing the role justice, there would have been backlash. So that's good. That means that he probably did his job really well. So I'm excited. I'm in a weird like movie funk. So maybe a assassination like action thriller will do just the thing for me. So
Yeah, it's good. It's funny, and it's Anna Kendrick, Ben Affleck. I like both of them. I like spy movies. It's all good. That was my favorite movie I've seen recently.
I love that. And I wouldn't have even expected that. But Anna Kendrick, we watched, and this isn't any like it is a recent watch, but Woman of the Year, the one on Netflix about the serial killer.
I heard it was good, but I haven't seen it.
It is good. It's really like I really enjoyed how they did the kills in this movie because they show it and they show it's
I think she
gruesome.
directed that too. I think she directed that.
She did. And she did a phenomenal job. It's a really good, like, very reminiscent of like a thriller, like a copycat, like what a 90s thriller. So if you get time, watch it because I really enjoyed it.
I'm down for a thriller, and I miss 90s thriller. We did a whole episode on thrillers because I was like, I miss them. Remember this? Because
I want it back. I'm with you. And there's another one that looks kind of like in that realm, and that was, oh my God, the white van or the man in the white van.
I saw something about that. I don't know anything about it though.
I watched the preview for it. It looks promising, but it looks very like thriller-esque and it looks really good. So I'm excited for that one.
Keep our ears perked up for that one.
Absolutely.
So I believe, if I'm correct, that leaves us with our least favorite movies that we saw recently, or no?
My least out of these ones Nosferatu.
Was Nosferatu. Okay.
Yep. My favorite is 30 Days a Night. This is my in the middle, but like more leaning towards enjoying it because it was so much fun. And when I tell you the people that are in it, and it was also fucking funny, but also like scary at the same time, was Y2K.
Ooh, okay. I mean, I'm glad because I've seen mixed reviews on it, but I thought the premise looked pretty cool.
It is so cheesy in the best way possible. Tim Heidecker's in it from Tim and Eric. Alicia Silverstone's in it. There's another person in it that I don't know if people know that he's in it, so I don't want to spoil it, but it's a really huge figure from the Y2K era. Do you know who I'm talking about? Who's in it?
I know what you're referring to. Yes.
Can I say it then?
I mean, spoiler alert, but yeah, for people who haven't seen it.
No, I won't say it then because it will be a spoiler because I was surprised to see him. But anyway,
I'm just, would it be, if I'm correct, if you recall, my number one favorite party song was by this band? Yes. Okay. That's, yeah.
So that was amazing to see it. But there was like the dude from Stranger Things with the long hair, the pizza guy.
Okay. I don't remember his name, but yeah.
I can't think of his name, but
the guy they cut out of the last season for some fucking reason. He's the only person they didn't bring back. They bring back everybody else, but then they're like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, not you. Which that must like hurt to not be welcome back to Stranger
He's done
Things.
it. He's like, yeah, they just like they've never called me like ever. Like he's like, I don't know what I did wrong, but like they've never called me like or given me any explanation. It was just like, bye bye.
Oh my God, that's horrible. I did not know that. That makes me feel so bad for him. But like, also, like, what did you do? What did you? Because
maybe
if
you were a dick.
I know. I was gonna say, what's his name can be doing what he was doing and he's still on the show.
Oh yeah, that the one who's the worst actor on the show. I can't remember. Will.
Yeah, no shit. But this movie was fun. When everything like because I remember at one point I was like, is this a horror movie? And when it kicks in, you're like, oh fuck. And then there are some deaths where I was rolling. I was like crying because they're just the most ridiculous deaths, but done in like the best way. Overall, very nostalgic because, you know, I literally was like a teenager growing up when Y2K happened. So it's weird to see like quote unquote period pieces from the times that we're from because like, you know, watching Weekend at Bernie's from when like my mom was young.
I hate to tell you this, Jordana. There is no quote unquote. It is a period piece at this point. It is 100% a period piece.
I don't want to admit it. God damn it. I'm 25.
And the sad part is that it's the 2000s are wait, what is it? The statistic that when we were growing up and we were like, wow, man, the 80s, that was so long ago and cool. The 2000s are like from where we are now are like further away than like the 80s were when we were growing up. You know what I mean? I don't think I explained that very well, but like.
No, you did, because it just made me feel even worse about my age.
Oh, hey, I'm right there. Let's try the substance.
Yes. Oh my God. Can you imagine you and I going back and forth? Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, there's an eye coming out of my butthole.
Oh, I have such terrible time management. I would fuck that up immediately.
Me too, my friend. We'd just be like a pile of goop.
Yeah. It would be they'd be like, you didn't even get through like the starter kit. I'd be like, I fucking suck. I don't know.
I just see like two piles across the room and you'd be like, I'd be like, Sam. Oh, I love it. But if you want something like, I don't want to say mindless, but if you want something mindless, if you're having like a day, you're off, you want to enjoy, you just don't want to put much thought into something, but you want to be entertained, please watch Y2K. I know that it's gotten shitty reviews, but like, just watch it. Just have fun with it. Like I think it will do people good to have those types of movies.
But I absolutely plan on watching it. That was one for sure. I'll probably wait till it hits a streaming service.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely want to see it because again, I grew up in that era as well.
Yep.
A particular influencer of that era who I happen to be a big fan of is in the movie, so
refreshing to see his face.
Need to see that. And
yep.
Yeah, and then again, it's a horror movie, so 3 winners. And even if it's a 7 out of 10, I'll probably fucking love it.
The soundtrack, it says it just like solidifies it enough, so I have every ounce of faith that you will enjoy it, but I am curious to hear your thoughts on it afterwards, because I always love like watching a movie and then going on Letterboxd and just seeing people shit on it and me being like 4 stars, 3.5 stars. Like this movie's the worst movie in the world, and I'm just like, I fucking loved it. Like it's just, I'm used to it by now.
Yeah,
okay.
I gotta get back into Letterboxd. I need to, because now I know that you're on it. I can add you, and we can see what movie. All our movies will be like almost the same, but
and it's so easy to do like reviews, because then I can be like, wait, what did I think of this? Because I'll forget a movie like the day after, and I'm like,
did I like this?
I deducted stars from Nosferatu before my birthday. I had it up a little bit higher, but I was just like, after thinking about it, I'm like, what really stood out to me? Like, what really like made me put this at a 3.5 star movie? And then I thought about it. I was like, I was bored out of my fucking mind. It wasn't as gory as I wanted it to be. We only saw like 2 seconds of Count Orlok dick. 2.5. You lose a star.
I think that's fair. I mean, sometimes you can just the fun of going to the movies can, like, you know, or if you're at home and you're maybe you got a little buzz going one way or the other, that can also, you know, then you're like, you know what, it wasn't as good as I thought it was.
Yes. And I have no issues, real quick. I have no issues like retracting or like updating, because your thoughts after a movie can completely change. You could say that was the best fucking movie, watch it again, be like, oh wait, what was that? Like I even did that. Remember when we talked about Terrifier 3? I was like, I don't know how I feel, because it was so much for me to unpack. And then after I watched it the second time, I'm like, oh, I remember. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's you as a person are always. I mean, there's certain movies that I like. So I love Kevin Smith, and I would say the first I tried probably from the ages of like 13 to 18. I probably tried like 5 different times to watch Chasing Amy and enjoy it, and I hated it. And then I watched it sometime in my 20s, and I was like, I love this movie. It's wonderful. You know, granted, super fucking not PC for this day and age.
Yeah.
So do not come for me. I understand that it is a completely ridiculous plot that is not fit, but as a movie that from what it was in its time, I love it. But it took me about 6 times to watch it before I loved it.
Yeah, and sometimes that's what it is, and that's okay, because there's no rules. It's amazing, like with entertainment and cinema, there's no rules. You don't have to like something the first time. It can take you. You can be on your deathbed and be like, oh, let me put on a Christmas Story.
No,
I like
God.
it.
No, I'm not to put me out of my misery if I'm putting that on my deathbed. But speaking of movies that you cannot put on my deathbed. I saw one final movie that I need to talk about. I know you saw it as well. This was
Ooh.
actually one of my most looked forward to movies because I thought, how could you fuck it up? How could you possibly fuck this up? And that
I
was
know.
Twisters.
Yes, that piece, that thing. I don't even know if I can classify it as a POS. I don't even know if I could say it's garbage. It's a thing. Like, it's there. It exists.
I classify it as a fucking turd that needs to be flushed down the toilet. I was so like on board. I think even last year when we talked, we did this and we were like, oh, look forward to movies. I was like, I'm looking forward to this because
Yeah.
I love the first one.
Mhm.
But like, and I went in with realistic expectations. I'm like, they're never
Yes.
going to be Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton. Can't, I know that. I'm like, it's, but all they have to give me is halfway likable characters and
Yep.
some cool, big action scenes with the tornado. And yet the characters are fucking awful. I hate them all. The tornado scenes are dumb as shit. They basically have trucks that are like transformers that like punch into the ground. And
I
I was
can't.
like, oh my God. And then I don't even care. I'll spoil this piece of shit. I'm like, okay, at least finally something interesting is going to happen. There's like a scene where the tornado like hits like a power plant and it like sucks up all this fire. And I'm like, all right, fire NATO. And then 3 seconds later, it's gone.
Yep. And you're like, well, what the fuck was that? Because we saw the cow how many times in like, exactly. Like, it, oh my God, that movie sucked so bad. I think
Awful.
we turned it off. Greg and I turned it off because it got to the point where I forgot what was happening in it because this is how bad it was. Was it like a couple tornadoes pop up at one point and they're like, I don't even remember what happened, but it was something that was so ridiculously far-fetched and we were just like, enough, and we shut it off. We're like, nope, not doing it.
Yeah, it's pretty much just rehashing the first movie, to be perfectly honest.
Mhm.
They're still trying to get something to suck up into a tornado like Dorothy from the first one. But Dorothy, and granted, the first movie is absolutely insane as well and it's illogical as fuck, but like fun. And Bill Paxton, and the whole movie is built on the fact that you like Bill Paxton, you like Helen Hunt, you want them to get together.
Yep.
That's really what the movie's about, is that you like these two characters, they're being kept apart by the bitch, you want them to be together, and you want the bitch to die.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then in this one, it's Glenn Powell, who is okay. He's a fine actor, but how they seem to think he's the next Tom Cruise, and I don't fucking think he is. It's him and this horrible girl who's like, I'm sorry, a bad fucking actress. I don't know who she is. She was terrible. And then the dude from Hamilton is also, there's like a love triangle, and they're trying to get this, instead of being little robots that suck up into the thing to like track tornadoes, they're like, this is liquid that it'll shoot up in the tornado and it'll kill the tornado. And I'm like, fuck you.
I know, it's like, who wrote this? Like, literally, like, who thought, and then like who okayed it to be like, that's entertainment. But it, I'm looking at my letterbox right now on like the movie from my letterbox, and so many people that I follow like have given it like 4.5 stars, 5.5 star or 5 stars. And okay, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I'm happy for you. I'm glad that you, what was the runtime on this? 123 minutes. So it was at 2 hours?
Yeah.
Almost a 2 hour. I'm glad that you don't mind having your time wasted for 2 hours, because I get pissed off when I watch something that wastes my time for 2 hours, and this one did. And back to you about the girl. It's Daisy Edgar Jones, and she was the one from Fresh.
Okay, I did not see Fresh. Was she good in Fresh? Because she sucked in this.
I loved her. I loved Fresh. You haven't seen that yet?
No, that's the one with her and Winter Soldier, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and they're like cannibals or something.
I won't tell you too much, but there is cannibalism in it. But
I won't tell you much, but yes.
Yes, people eat each other in that movie. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I really liked her. I liked her in this one. I could not stand her in this one. So I'm glad that you said that, because
and maybe it's
I don't think it's her. I think it
could just be the dialogue. That, I mean, her character was so fucking stupid. Like she gives this horrendous fucking like monologue that is supposed to be like obviously like her big moment of like, when it was my fault, I got my team members killed, because it's like you were chasing a tornado, you kind of knew what you signed up for. It's not your fault, it's all of you were morons. And then, like I told you, at the end of the movie, obviously there's a big giant tornado coming at this fucking town, and they got to get their stupid goddamn thing to work. And I was genuinely like, I hope the tornado kills them all. I hope if the tornado just blew through the town, and then a big PSA that came up and said, like, tornadoes are not a joke. Get to shelter if you see one. This is a public service announcement. The end. I'd be like, fucking thank God.
Then you'd stand up for that and be like, thank you. Yes. But honestly, I'm glad that you even finished it, because I was like, there's that much time left. Him and I both were like, shut it down. Like, again, that was a no-go for me as well. I didn't even rate it. I think I would have if I had to give it anything, I would have given it nothing, because it's just.
Yeah, I will give it the lowest score possible when I get on Letterboxd, which I think is 0.5 star. So
yes, please. Yes. And I will counter that, and I'll add that to mine and be like, what the fuck did we just do? So, but it's a classic case, though, of, again, we don't need to have these hybrid 10 plus year later stories from already existing good movies. We don't need it. Like, sure, I mean, maybe, but like, how about again, this is like, I feel like a record. Have an original thought. Just have an original thought.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could have done any movie about the weather and called it something else. It didn't have to be Twisters. No. It's just, but in this particular case, if you don't call the movie Twisters, nobody's going to go see it, because that's the only selling point. The only selling point for this movie is, you liked Twister? Here you go. Because if you called this movie, like, I don't know, I'm going to make up a fucking name, like,
Spiraling Clouds
or F5 or whatever, and you just put that on the screen in the trailer, people are going to go like, that looks like shit. Like, they all look bad, and no, I'm not going to go see it. Maybe you might get a few people with the cool fire tornado that's on screen for all 4 seconds, but it sure was in the trailer.
Right. And that was more than 4 seconds in the trailer, so they lied. It's clickbait. It's, again, just come sit in the seat. But like, a lot of people in the review say, I know the original is an iconic, and it will never be whatever, but like, hang on, I want to read one. 5 stars. I loved the old one and didn't go in expecting much, but I liked it. But you give it 5 stars.
Yeah. And this isn't like, sometimes, like, I'm like, you could, if you dislike like a sequel or a remake, you sometimes are like, oh, well, that's because I feel like it fucked up. I don't feel like this fucked up Twister. I could still watch Twister and have a great time.
1,000%.
I just think this is a bad movie. Like, it's completely its own thing. Like, it's not tied to the first movie in any way other than the name. Mm-hmm. And it's just bad. I just thought it was a bad movie, and I'm all for, I will give a franchise a chance. I like my franchises, but like you said, this is one that probably just did not need to be dug up unless there was something that really warranted it. But literally, the only thing they did was they were like, I feel like somebody was like, Twister. And then they like saw like the aliens.
Yep.
Except the difference on that is that James Cameron wrote a really good fucking screenplay that warranted a sequel for Aliens. This guy was like, let's just slap an S on this sumbitch and we'll put a couple tornadoes in there.
Yeah, and then it's going to be the hottest movie of the summer. Because
and I think it did pretty well. I don't think it did great, but it did well. But I'm like, God, I hope it didn't do well enough to get a Twisters 3 Dark Paradox or something. Twisters tornado. 3 Fire NATO. Well, maybe I did want to see that, so at least then I could be like, are you going to give it to me this time and actually see what it does?
I'm hoping for more originals and not these, like, because they're grabbing from my time. And not like, I'm not saying like saying like, oh, that 19 whatever year Twister came out, that was my year, but like, it's coming from a time where movies were good. And I saw Twister in the theaters in New Hampshire when we went on vacation because it was a rainy day. That was such a fun movie experience. to
Oh
like
yeah, I
see
mean,
that.
I love Twister, and it totally fucked me up as a kid. Made me afraid of, like, deadly afraid of weather. To this day, I
Yeah.
am deadly afraid of weather. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if it starts getting like bad outside, I
Panic.
immediately grab the dog and I go downstairs, and Deanna like makes fun of me, and then only when it gets real bad, like, it's bad if she's down there with me,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
usually she's like basically like, all right, you puss, like.
Like, come on, buck up. Like, you're gonna
Yeah,
be okay.
but
But I'm the
Twister
same
did
way.
scar me. It's because of Twister that I'm afraid of tornadoes.
Terrified. I was the same way. And when last summer in New York, remember, like, there was, I think we had more tornadoes than fucking what's Tornado Alley? Like, where did you know what I mean? Like,
I'm in Tornado Alley.
yes, and we got more, and we had to sit down here, and it was terrifying because I'm like, are we really gonna have a fucking tornado? And then when we were in Milton in the hurricane, I immediately went to Twister, and I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna be like the opening scene, and Greg's gonna fucking blow away, and I'm gonna have to hold Rosalind and like see Greg take off in the funnel. Like, I was so scared, but that PTSD from Twister, like, definitely hit me. So I feel you.
Yeah, it's one. I think it had a lot of effect on a lot of kids or people kids at the time.
Yep.
Because it's like there's something about that's just, it's like that Jaws. Like, you're completely powerless. Like, you are
Yeah.
at the fate of, for so many different, the beast, whether
Yeah.
the beast is the shark or the fucking the weather. I mean, you can't, if it wants to kill you, if it wants to take you, you're fucked.
And that's it. And that's why it's like crazy to me. Like, that's what I loved about Twister was that's crazy. And my instinct would be to get the fuck out of there. But I love how it was like that was their job to figure out why this was happening. And it came from Helen Hunt's place of trauma because like her dad got sucked up in the fucking tornado. Like, thank God the dog didn't, because that would have destroyed me.
Oh yeah, no, that would have been bad.
Bad. But yes. Well,
One of the few early, because that was a time period where the pets didn't do so well in movies like this. So it was one of the few where I'm like, oh, thank God. Like,
same. And when 30 Days a Night happened,
just the dad, it's okay.
Yeah, he's fine. He's replaceable. Dogs are not. But when oh my god, the 30 Days a Night with the dog scene, I forgot how like in your face and gory that scene was, and you like see how mutilated they were. And I kind of like made a face, and Greg's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm fine." But
I
like,
might have to fast forward that part when I rewatch it here soon.
it's early on too, so be ready for it.
Oh.
Terrifying, gross.
Well, that's some of the stuff we've been watching. We've already watched that, though. That's in the past, but we're in January. This is our first episode of 2025. Jordana, we decided to take a look at the whole entire year of what's coming out, pick out some things that we thought maybe we might like, be looking forward to, some things we might have some questions about, and maybe some things that we're like, fuck off.
Yes.
But I thought maybe you want to start off with whatever you like. Do you want to start off positive, negative, wherever you're at here?
Let's go. I think I'm gonna go with love, and I'm gonna hold on. I gotta find it though. Actually, I don't know. This is gonna be a weird one for me because when I say it, you're gonna be like, huh? Um, I'm really kind of intrigued by Death of a Unicorn.
It's on. Well, you can't see it, but there it is. I screenshotted all the ones I wanted to talk about.
Yes, and yes, it is Miss Jenna Ortega, who I've had my fill of her. Like Beetlejuice. Don't even fucking get me started on that movie. That's another one I could have complained about for hours. But this looks interesting. This looks fun. I really like the dynamic of Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega in like the trailer that I saw. So and it's A24. So I feel like this is a challenge. It's like I want to like it because it looks good, but it's Miss Jenna Ortega and A24. So let's hope that it marries well together.
My thoughts exactly. To be honest with you, I'm Jenna Ortega out, but she can deliver in certain roles. The way it looked, though, it looked very fun. It looked like a fun, not going to take itself super serious kind of movie. And then I saw it was A24, and I was like, uh-oh. Like, I'm like, not really known for fun.
And not elevated.
Yeah. So God knows what the unicorn's going to end up standing for. But Probably some thinly veiled, like, whatever.
Yeah. But
Whatever.
treat. So that's at least it's piqued our it's sparked our interest. So
Yes, the trailer did. I want to see it. I will see it. Probably not in theaters. I don't feel like that's a necessary where I'm going to run out to the theater. But I think it looks interesting enough that I'm like, I want to keep my eye out for that because it looks fun.
yes, I completely agree.
All right. I'm gonna go start us off with a little bit of horror here, just because I did so much non-horror earlier.
Love it.
I am really interested in seeing Hard Eyes.
Yes, me too.
It looks. I don't know when this went into production, but I am completely just pulling this out of my ass. So this may be completely made up.
Okay.
I feel like from what I'm seeing for this movie is what I thought was going to happen after the success of Terrifier. My thought was this looks like a movie that somebody's like saw Terrifier and was like, we can do that. Like we can do that kind of movie, you know, and make it fun and make it bloody and violent and all that fucking cool shit that makes Terrifier fans go crazy. Maybe not to the degree of Terrifier, but like I feel like this might be what with the success of Terrifier 3 and 2 as well. I feel like this is maybe one of the first offerings of just a hey, remember when slashers were fun? Boom, here you go. And an attempt to create a new horror icon.
I am hoping I got like I don't want to say this because I know it's going to be a generic answer, but I have to like be truthful. It felt very like My Bloody Valentine. Like I hope that it's to that like fun degree of like slasher, but like mixed with the love element. I don't know. I'm excited for it, and I'm gonna try to not. My one resolution is try not to be so negative and to be so critiquey before I see it, because who knows? It could be our favorite of 2025 of like the horror genre.
And I know very little about what's going on in this movie other than the material that they've released. I know Devon Sawa's in it. I'm always a fucking fan of that.
He's in it. I thought it was just what's his name from the Scream. The only person I really knew in it was the Mason Gooding or whatever his name is from Scream.
I'm assuming Devon's in it because that's how I actually saw it, is that Devon released like a thing on his Instagram about it. So I would presume, since he is sort of a horror boy and he ends up in he finds his way into a lot of horror movies, I was assuming that he was going to be in it. He could have just been promoting it. Maybe his friends are in it, but I think he's in it.
No, it's Olivia Holt, Mason Gooding, Jordana Brewster.
Ooh, all right.
Devon Sawa.
Okay.
So yes, that's exciting.
See, the cast is pretty good. So I'm excited. I think that this has potential to be a fun slasher for 2025, which I did, as far as what I saw, might be one of the only slashers of 2025. I don't feel like I saw a lot of major release slashers.
I feel like are we getting a Strangers Chapter 2? And that
yes, well, you're getting one of those every year for this year and next year.
I don't mean
and
to
poo-poo. The last movie I heard was pretty fucking abysmal.
I was gonna say I don't mean to poo-poo, but like that's not the slasher I want, because the first remake of the first take of this movie, that was another one that we didn't finish, and I shut it off because I was just like, what is the fucking point? Like, why am I wasting my time with a story that I've already seen but done by less just not good performances? I hate to be that way. I truly hate to be that way, but like, you cannot take Scott what's his name and Liv Tyler and make an iconic movie like The Strangers and then attempt to strike with lightning again. Like it just, I don't know what they were thinking. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I've not heard a single person say a good thing about it. I actually had a little bit of hope going into it because the director is he was kind of a big director in the 90s. He did like Let the Long Kiss Goodnight and Freddy. He did the Freddy Dream Warriors. And what the fuck else did he do? Cutthroat Island, that piece of shit. But he's done some like big movies. And I was like, oh, I like some of his shit. He did like Die Hard 2, I think. And like, I was like, okay, so like fucking maybe this will be good. Deep Blue Sea. I'm sorry, that's my favorite movie he did. I'm like,
Yes.
all right, let's. So I had some hope, and then
Yeah.
just every single review I saw was just like, it's unredeemable.
It is. And just again, like, why is it necessary? Like, I would never want to be like, oh, I'm gonna remake, like Halloween. Like that's like, and I'm such a Halloween fan. It's ballsy. Like you have to fucking if you have to deliver. If you're going to make something that was already iconic, and you have to like remake it, reboot it, whatever you're doing, it has to be to that level of where it was for me because there's nothing came from this that I didn't get from the first one.
Well, it's also ballsy. I mean, to say it's ballsy enough to go after a movie that a cult. I mean, it's not like Strangers was like a giant smash hit. You know,
Right.
but it's a cult classic. It has its fan base.
Yes.
I can understand taking a swing at one of them, but it's
Sure.
pretty fucking ballsy to be like, no, we're doing 3 back to back to back. Like, oh,
I'm so sick of trilogies and horror. I'm so sick of this. Like we have to have 3 movies for it to. No, you don't. You truly don't have to have 3. You don't even have to have one. Like
yeah. You know what? Just put that one back in your pocket.
yeah. Like and just again, like think like an original thought. Like oh my god, who's I talking to? Because there was like um a meme of like Art the Clown, but he was dressed like Bob Ross, and it's like why don't which was hilarious. But like, why isn't there like a slasher movie of like an artist who is also like a killer and he paints, paintings of where he's killed his victims? Do you know what I mean? Like, why
Yeah.
are we not coming up with like creative things like that? Like, there's
Like a
so
newer
many.
version of something, or like a
Exact.
newer, like a completely new IP.
Yes, exactly. But like taking something from something as iconic as Bob Ross and not like maybe making it like Bob Ross, but just taking the premise of an artist, of a known painter, like make a fake figure and have them be the serial killer. But like he pretends to help out, but like he's really tracing where he's killed. I don't know, something.
Yeah, I mean, fucking again. Like that's why I'm liking this Hard Eyes thing. Back to that is like,
Hmm.
it's not like does it look like it's going to be groundbreaking? No, but they're like, hey, let's get a guy. Let's
Yep.
design some fucking cool looking mask.
He looks badass.
We'll
He
give
looks
him
good.
some reason to kill people, and
Hmm.
just try. Let's try and make something that's somewhat new. You know, it's a completely newer thing, even if it's a take on an older thing. You know what I mean? Every story's been told before, but
Yes.
put your own fucking spin on it, and you don't have to call it, because they very easily could have just been like, you know what? Let's just call this My Bloody Valentine Part 5, or whatever.
Exactly.
Like they
Or
could have done
reboot.
that, but they're not. They're making their own fucking thing, and I appreciate that, and I will
Yes.
go support that with my wallet.
1,000%, because absolutely. You would think, not to sound like morbid, but you would think the way of the world and how people are frustrated and like just at their breaking point, that there has been more like serial killer fucking movies of like people just snapping and losing their shit because like it's scary. Like the world is scary enough as it
See,
is.
I think that there is that. It's just that what it is now is it's all true crime shit.
It's actually happening.
Instead of watching fictional serial killers, people are now watching like the 400 documentaries that Netflix puts out a year about serial killers and like fucked up situations and stuff, because those are always super popular.
Yeah, 1,000%. But I'm remaining hopeful on this because, like you said, I don't think there's a lot of slashers coming out this year. I mean, you turned me on to, slashers that are supposed to be coming out this year that I had no idea. Huge
Oh,
IPs.
well, yeah,
We'll get to that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I love it. You're just like, yeah,
yeah. I mean, whatever. I mean, it's your go. I've said Hard Eyes. I feel like it would be your go for what's a movie on the horizon that you want to talk about, either one way or the other.
So I have one, and I think it's because of last year's performance that was one of my favorites. But it's called Dust Bunny, and
Ooh, I've not heard of this.
ooh, so it is. Let me see if I can go back to the first thing. I can't. An 8-year-old girl asks her scheming neighbor for help in killing the monster under her bed that she thinks ate her family. And this is an upcoming American horror thriller film produced, written, and directed by Brian Fuller in his feature film directorial debut. And it has Sigourney Weaver.
Okay, I love her.
Yes, I knew this would be up your alley. David Dasmalchian,
Oh,
which
I know
is
you. I know you love him.
my man. So I'm all in. And then Mads Mikkelsen.
Mickelson,
Yeah. So
Mads
those are
Mikkelsen,
the
yeah.
only three that are listed on this movie.
But all
And
three
with,
good.
I was gonna say, just with these three, I'm sold.
Yeah, I'm sold too. And by the way, the premise, because obviously with what you described, you could
Mhm.
go psychological and it's not real,
Yeah.
or you could go the kid's fucking telling the truth and there really is a monster, and I'm good either way. So like,
Either way, I'm so fucking excited for this movie. I I really like I really enjoy David Dasmalch. I don't know what it is. There's just something about him, and I think that when he
he's one of
played
your horror crushes. Let's be real.
he is. I don't know what it is, but Jack Delroy, when he was, and I know that he's like
I
a
know.
nasty ass person, like he's an evil dude, but there was something so charming and
He's
charismatic
like
about
supposed
him.
to be such a sleazeball, and you're
I
like,
know.
oh, he's dreamy.
I fell for it. I'm just like, oh, that guy. He's such a cool dude. But like,
Fucking murdered his wife. All right.
just to become famous, he sold
Yeah.
out and killed his wife, and now he's banging the fucking, uh, exorcist chick, the therapist. I don't know, but there's something about him that I truly enjoy. So for him, he was in the Belko Experiment too,
Mhm.
which I love. So
I remember I think the first thing I saw him in was when he was in Suicide Squad, which I liked.
yes, and everyone like knows it, like that and The Dark Knight.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I really enjoy Sigourney Weaver. I think that what was she in recently?
Avatar. I mean, I know you haven't seen it, so
I still have not seen that movie. Guess what? I ain't. I'm not doing it. What was she? Oh wait, that wasn't Sigourney Weaver. That was
I'm honestly surprised she has time with her filming, because they're filming like Avatar 3, 4, 5. They're like back to back to back to back filming. So like, I'm kind of surprised she has time to do anything else.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, 3's coming out this year.
Okay.
It honestly would be on my hype list because I love 2 so much, and 1 I thought was pretty good. But I'm not going to push them on you. Don't worry. I just love James Cameron.
Would I enjoy it?
I don't know. For you, okay? I'll be honest with you. For part 1, did you like Fern Gully?
Oh, I love Fern Gully.
It's basically live action Fern Gully with some weird sex stuff. The second one, though, I genuinely love, and I think it's beautiful, and it's long as fuck. And there's there's a 30-minute scene, which is basically just, there's no plot happening. It's just them, you're watching them live, like how they live in the water. And I fucking love it. I could have watched another hour of it. I don't know why. James Cameron's a fucking genius. He's never made a bad movie in my opinion, but whatever. He is, that's basically the only thing he's going to do from now till he dies. He already has said that he believes he will be dead before the series is finished. And he's already picked like 2 people to like, if I die, it goes to this person and he's going to be in charge of it. And if I die, then this person, and that person's dead, this person's going to direct it.
Wow. But
so
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool that he's already got like faith, and he already has like designated drivers for the project, so he knows that it's hopefully not going to suck.
Yeah, I think his worry is he's like, with like the Game of Thrones guy, like that guy's never gonna fucking finish. There's no fucking chance he's gonna finish. Like,
okay, so just because you said Game of thrones we were discussing Game of Thrones at work tonight, and I did not realize that the novels were not done.
Yeah, he's never gonna finish them. He's like 80 something. He's for sure it's fucked.
It is fucked, but it's also like, that's not fair to like tell his story and then like end it the way that you want to. Like, I get that. I mean, I understand. Like, I truly don't understand. I'm just trying to be nice, but like, how the fuck do you do that and then like completely bomb the ending, and the dude hasn't even fucking like, he hasn't even created it? Like, I don't get it.
Well, I mean, while I'll say I think what those dudes did, the Game of Thrones dude, is totally shitty.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they kind of got blackballed for a little while, although they're coming back now.
I know.
But like they had gotten in with Star Wars. They were going to do their own Star Wars movie, and they pretty much just fast tracked the last season of Game of Thrones and didn't give a shit.
Yep.
So fuck them. And then once Disney found out about that, they were like, "Fuck you. We're not working with you."
Themselves hard on that one.
Yeah. Now they're finally coming. They got something coming out soon, but on the flip side, I can also see like because what were they supposed to do? Just like we can't end the show until you finish the book. We started the fucking thing we started the thing 10 years ago. You had 10 years to finish this book, bro. Like,
exactly.
Finish the fucking book.
But that's like, did he want to, or like, was he just like, I'm just so curious as to what his end game, like the actual writer, what his end game was, what he wanted to do. Cause I'm curious because like, I don't know about you, but the ending of Game of Thrones really did nothing for me. And I'm still kind of pissed about it because I love the show so much, but like the ending sucked.
It sucked. It sucked. It was bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I've heard that he gave them like points, like this is where I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
get me there, or like help me get to this
so
point.
Like he kind of gave them like a outline of where he wanted to go is what I've heard, and then they're like, well, they just kind of did what they could. But then I've also heard that he's like with the whole like Bran is king thing, that he's like, I didn't fucking pick that, like that's not what I wanted. But at the same time, it's like, dude, then you have the power to tell the people the story that you want to tell them. You just gotta fucking write it, dude.
Don't bitch about it. Like, do something about it, since you're the fucking
write it. You know, if you wrote it right now, they probably, I wouldn't be surprised if they would be like, you know what, we'll do like a little mini movie, like, you know, to like show your version of the story.
Which I'm sure would be like apples to oranges in the regards of like how it ended, because I'm sure his idea was so thought out, because I feel like it was such a rush job. It was so anticlimactic. It was just like all of that for what? Like, because it genuinely one of the best shows I've ever watched, but that ending.
Honestly, the last 2 seasons were pretty shitty, but I mean, it's just I truthfully, I don't, and I've seen a lot of people that like reports of like in the industry, like the book industry, and they're like, it's never gonna happen. Like it's not so sad. Like, don't hold your fucking breath. He's never gonna finish it. Like, just accept it and move the fuck on.
Yeah, just and you know what? It's unfortunate because that could have been like another potential of like, I don't want to say perfection, but like just an immaculate show. Because I think people would have been a lot more happier with whatever other ending we were given. But
yeah, and at least if you knew that it came from the same mind of the person who started it, you know. But I mean, honestly, like that's not. They were going on their own shit for the last like 2 or 3 seasons, because I mean, it's not like just the last season. Like they got to like the last 2 or 3 seasons were for sure the last 2, but I think it was the last 3. They had caught up to the books, like,
yeah,
and so that's why like there was a kind of a noticeable drop in quality. All of a sudden, it was like, okay, like,
and I could feel it every episode I watch. I'm like, why am I not feeling the way I did those like every single episode? Because every single episode, I was either crying, mad, pissed, sad, on the edge of my seat, like every episode. And then when you got towards the end, I'm like, what? Like this isn't hitting like it used to.
Yeah, it was not good.
No.
But on that being said, let's talk about something happy. Yeah. What is a movie that wait, what's a movie that you're looking forward to?
That was just the best. Okay, so
well, we went on such a tangent that I'll tell you what happened is I was like, did she say the movie yet? I was like, wait, did she even say the movie yet? I'm like, I don't think she did. I think the last movie that was brought up was Hard Eyes. So
oh wait, what were we talking about? Dust Bunny, and then
that's what it was. Okay, so you did pick Dust Bunny. Okay,
yes.
So we got on I mean, that's why we put it in the name of the show, folks. That was a hell of a tangent.
Yes,
I got lost in it, honestly.
Unfigured the lines that we just drew. I love it though.
All right, then it's my turn, actually.
Yes, it is.
All right, so I'm gonna pick one that I just read about today for the first time, and as soon as I read about it, I was like, I'm fucking in so hardcore. This
is
is a movie called The Bride. Have you heard of it? And I just heard about it today. So
Yep.
we're getting a Frankenstein movie. All cool, sure, big ups.
Yep.
I love Guillermo. When I heard about this, I was like, I don't give a fuck about that movie anymore, because the first thing I saw about was The Bride, and it was an interview with Maggie Gyllenhaal, who I like as an actress. She's directing it. Her brother's starring in it. But the first thing she said out of her fucking mouth, which I was like, I'm in. She's like, this is going to be as like, it's, if she put it akin to something, she put it akin to Young Frankenstein, which is one of the funniest fucking movies ever made. If you haven't seen it, listeners, go fucking watch it right now. It's one of the funniest movies in the history of time.
Yep.
And I'm not putting that expectation on it, but to see some version of a slapsticky, goofy, fun monster movie, like it's everything I wanted.
I'm in. Like,
yes,
I'm excited for The Bride too. I am equally. I'm really like, as much as I shit on Wolfman, I'm kind of excited for that, just because I didn't realize that what's his name is directing it from Saw. And Insidious.
Dave Winnell or Lee
Winnell.
Yeah. Yeah. And he did the Invisible Man remake, which I really liked.
Yes. Oh, thank you for saying that. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but
no,
you just sparked a tangent point, because we were talking about The Invisible Man. I'm like, The Invisible Man was good. The scene in The Invisible Man when she's with her sister at dinner.
It's been, I saw it like when it first came out. Deanna just randomly, actually, I own it. Deanna was like, I was at Target and I saw this. I just bought it for you and thought you might like it. We watched it. I haven't watched it since then, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Like, super fun.
It's so good. And it was
like, fucked up.
And fucked up. Yes. Cause it was like, it was good, but it's like, there's some gory parts. There's some like intense scenes, but do you remember Memoirs of the Invisible Man with Chevy Chase, directed by John Carpenter?
Yes.
I didn't. Okay. For some odd fucking reason, I loved that movie when I was younger. Like, I loved,
because it's got Chevy Chase in it.
Yes, and I knew him from like the Three Amigos, and I loved like when Daryl Hannah painted his face on, and like he's standing there and he does like the reveal and like just all of it. But I did not realize it was John Carpenter at all.
I honestly did not know it was John Carpenter until you just said that right now. I've seen the movie as a kid, and I honestly probably haven't seen it since I was like 11, but like.
Same, but it was one of my favorite movies. So then we were talking about it, and I'm like, I want to watch that. And then I looked it up. I'm like, and Greg and I both at the same time were like, holy fuck, it's a John Carpenter movie. I'm like, and then of course, like Sam Neill's in it, you know, and then watching the trailer, I'm like, it totally looks like a Carpenter flick. So
I gotta be honest with you, I want to watch it like tonight. Like I do
too.
I forgot it existed until you said it, and now I'm like, yeah, I bet you that's fun. Like. I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but yeah.
And it scared me too, because there's just some imagery of like him with the bandages and like, you know, with like Host, how the face is just kind of like floating there. Very creepy, but for some reason I love the movie. So that sparked my Invisible Man conversation. Like, we're roping the tangent in. It was like the Universal Monsters type deal, and I was like, oh, I forgot about that movie.
And just to touch on it, like all that being said, like I really like that movie. I think his name is Lee Winnell or whatever. I like most of the stuff that he's done. I'm gonna be honest with you. I still think the Wolfman looks terrible.
I know. I'm like, maybe like the transformation will be they're not showing it and they're saving it. Like, I'm hoping that's what it is.
I don't mean just. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. Let me be clear. I don't mean I think that the creature just looks terrible. I think the film, The Wolfman, looks terrible. I every time I see the trailer, I'm like, how are people like? I'm sorry, like I don't want to yuck anyone's yum. I know you just said you're kind of getting excited for it, but me personally, every time I see the trailer, I'm like, this looks like fucking garbage. Like just garbage.
I'm trying to like channel positive energy because I'm so excited about The Bride. I'm so excited about Frankenstein. Like I'm just excited.
There's a
For
lot to be excited about, and you know what? I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's a fucking great movie. But if I'm a betting man, I think it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, and then right now we'll fast forward to the episode after we watch it. We'll be like, "That was shit," but how cool would it be if it was like, "Hey, that was actually pretty good."
I I fucking hope so. I will not
Right.
see this movie in theaters, though. I promise you that.
I know. I'm like, Greg was asking me that. He's like, "Do you want to wait till streaming or should we go see it?" I'm like, I don't know. I don't.
Unless it happens to be a day where like I'm off and like I've
Mhm.
got absolutely nothing to do, or like I gotta kill 2 hours somewhere. I have
Possibly.
no desire to see that movie. I have less desire to watch Wicked again, or more desire to watch Wicked again than I do to watch that fucking movie.
Oh my god, that says a lot.
I just
Wait, I feel that. I think I'm gonna save my theater experience since it is winter and it's like you saw the videos I sent you, like
yeah.
a snow globe here. I think I'm gonna save my outing for Hard Eyes in the theater.
I think I would be much more likely to go to see Hard Eye. Like I said, it's extra shitty to even go to the theater right now. If I'm gonna go, I want to go to something that I think has a much higher chance of enjoyment.
Yes, and I'm so with you on that. But um yeah.
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 So the bride would be my next movie that I am extremely excited for, and I hope it's super super funny.
I am equally excited for it. Um I'm gonna stay away from I'm gonna stay away from Frankenstein because we already kind of talked about it. I am excited for that though because
Me too.
uh Oscar Isaac, Gar- just Guillermo del Toro directing it and having like any credibility. Like I'm in. Like and what's his
He's
name?
super good at building tones, but still
Yes,
having them be fun. I feel like he can do. I think he can do gothic, but in a way that is entertaining and fun and not drab and boring.
exactly.
Yeah.
I second that. Um, one that I'm excited about, and because I know we're like uh I don't know. I don't want to go too much because there are a couple that I'm excited about. I am excited about The Monkey by Osgood Perkins. I'm excited for that
That's
one.
your boy, right? Isn't that
Long Legs director.
mhm.
Black, yeah, I like his style, so I'm kind of like the previews that I've seen because I'm trying to like this year I'm trying to not watch a lot of trailers because I want the um
excitement?
excitement. I don't want things to be ruined because I know they show a lot in the trailer, but I did see like a little a snippet of the monkey and I'm excited. I just to what Matt was saying in the last episode of the Terrifying 3, I hope it's not anything to do with Satan. I don't want any more Satan themed movies from him because we had Long Legs and we had The Black Coat's Daughter. I want something like crazy,
Yeah, something different. It just
but like in his style.
let's get a different monster or creature or whatever. Just let's maybe demons are good for a little bit.
Yeah, and like you proved your point that hail Satan. Like you're in with the red man. Let's see what you can do.
The red. Oh, I just picture like Method and Red.
Yeah. Speaking of Method and Red, I love this. Another little tangent on my Ticketmaster warning. It's like, oh, better grab these tickets fast. Red Man and Method Man, and I'm like, what? They're not. I like freaked out like on tour, but they're just doing like Legends of Hip Hop, some like festival type thing, and like
For me, I'd be like, if it's like a viewing and a Q&A about how high, I'd be right there.
done deal, front row seat. Exactly. I would
I
love that.
love that fucking movie. So I am certain it is not PC today, but it is a funny movie.
Absolutely not. But I love it. And I do think they are amazing rappers. So they would be a bucket list concert to see, but I digress about that. This one's gonna be a little bit this is weird because this usually isn't the type of movie that I'd be excited to see, but for some reason I'm intrigued. And I think it's because of the one person in it. It's the movie's called Companion. Did you see the preview for that?
I describe it because I believe I am aware of this. This is on my radar, but I'm not 100% certain.
So this one stars Sophie Turner from Yellow Jackets, and she was
And Game of Thrones.
um no, I don't think was she in Game of
Sophie Turner.
No, Sophie Thatcher. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Sophie Thatcher. So she was the one that was in Heretic too, with
Okay,
Hugh Grant.
gotcha.
Her and Jack Quaid, which I really like Jack Quaid from The Boys. I fucking hate him from Scream. Like Scream ruined him for me. Like I
Oh,
just when I see him, I'm
he's your
like
favorite ghost face.
him and Amber.
You like that he is in a sexual relationship with a teenager.
Ugh,
I know, I'm just
Sam.
joking. I'm just joking.
The just like the
Nobody ever seems
subsided-
to bring that part up, by the way, which I'm always like, eh.
Is anyone going to mention this? Hello.
Yep.
As much I feel like I was just trying to like tune out how much I hated that movie, and then when I talk about it, I'm just like, why? But from what I'm gathering from this movie, and I don't know if I heard it in the preview, but I think she's like a sex toy. I think that she's like a sex robot, and I think
Oh,
the
this
way
is
that
not what I was thinking of then.
did you see the trailer for? Have
No,
you seen?
no.
Okay.
I think I'm thinking of a completely different movie.
It's so weird because it's like, oh, the happiest day that I met is when I met what's his name, and then it's like blah blah blah, but then all this like weird stuff starts happening, and at the end, I could have sworn someone said like, oh, she's a sex toy. I don't know something, but it looks intriguing because it's like cat and mouse. You don't know if Sophie Thatcher's the bad guy or if it's Jack Quaid. It's kind of like a strange darling situation where you don't really know like what the fuck's going on.
Okay.
But
Kind
for
of
some
sounds like that. Did you see that new Megan Fox movie? Well, it's a Netflix movie. Oh my God.
I heard of it. What is it? It's like one word.
I can't remember, but it's kind of the same thing. She's like the mom gets into like an accident, so then they hire this rope or they buy this like robot to like help out around the house. But then the dad,
Subservience.
yes, and then the dad starts fucking the robot, of course, because it looks like Megan Fox. Like, and then there's a fight between the mom and her for over the family. It was dumb as shit, but like it was fun. Like I wasn't unhappy that I watched it, but I was
Right.
like when as soon as I saw it, I'm like, well, mom, like wife, you're pretty dumb. I mean, he's clearly gonna fuck this thing. Like,
I mean, like if you have a fucking thing that looks like Megan,
Yeah.
of course you're going to.
yeah,
Like,
you could have bought like a different edition. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm sure there's a version that maybe looks more like a trash compactor with arms. I don't know, but
I could just see like a girl that looks, or like a model that looks like Megan Fox, but like fucking eyeliner underneath it, just like a raggedy version.
I just picture there's like an alternate version of that movie where like they're in there like shopping for the robot, and then she's like, no, we'll take the Mrs. Doubtfire version or whatever. Hello.
I would do that. I'd be like, you, Kathy Bates looking. Come on, let's go.
Okay, but yeah, so all right, this sounds interesting to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the actors involved. I dig Jack Quaid and some stuff. Some stuff he does kind of like irk me a bit, but overall I kind of dig him.
I'm with you. I love him in like the movies that he's been in other than Scream. Like he
He doesn't even bother me in Scream, I'll be honest.
it's not his
Richie,
fault
right?
either.
It's Richie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked a little bit of him in the movie, but I despise that movie so much that I can't help but be petty about things. So I'm like, oh, I fucking
See, but
hate
I
him.
love Five, so I think that's why I don't
Yes, I
mind.
forgot that you do love Five. I'm so sorry. I love
don't-
you.
I don't care. I hate 3 and you love 3. I mean, we
I
were
know.
allowed to have differing opinions. I love 5 though.
I know.
But not necessarily because of it's not like Richie's what makes that movie for me, but yeah, I don't know. I sometimes I've seen some stuff of his where I'm like, I don't know, man. Sometimes you just seem like a douche.
Yes, he has that douchey aroma to him sometimes, and I'm like, you seem nice in The Boys, and that's like the Jack Quaid that I really enjoy. But then
Mhm.
there's other times I see him, I'm like, wow, you do look douchey.
Yeah.
Like
you do seem
douchey
like your dad's Dennis Quaid. Like
vibes. Yes. Booty.
all right. I've got some other positive ones up here. I'm gonna go with one that I think would probably blow your fucking mind that I'm gonna include this in my most looked forward to movies of the year.
Oh God. Can I take it? Is it horror?
No. It's a genre that I have sworn off for quite a while now.
So it's a superhero movie.
It is.
Superman.
It is definitely Superman.
Yes.
I am going to break my no superhero. I haven't seen a new superhero movie in at least 2 years, I think. I think the
Mhm.
last one I saw was Suicide Squad.
Hmm.
Um, and I think this Superman movie it looks it's either going to be great
Yep.
or fucking awful, but I'm gonna try. I'm willing to try because what I saw in this trailer, which some people are divisive on,
Mhm.
I didn't see. I saw what to me looked like a Superman comic book come to life. It's
Mhm.
colorful.
Yes.
It looks like there's some fun to it. It's not just all dark and dreary like all the other fucking superhero. Like so much of the DC universe before James Gunn got involved was just like depressing as fuck.
Yes.
This
Like,
I'm
let's
like,
make this so dark, and it's like I get it, but like, can you liven it up just like a little?
yes, and the very first time I was like, oh, when I saw Krypton the dog or Crypto the dog, and I was like, oh,
I
okay,
know. I
we're having
know.
some fun with that. And then we
Mhm.
got Nathan Fillion playing dumbass Guy Gardner, who is I'm a gigantic Green Lanterns fan. I have
Mhm.
two of the Red Lanterns actually on my arm.
Love
So I should say I'm a Red Lantern fan, but whatever, nerd. Um,
it.
I hate Guy Gardner because he's such a fucking dumb douchebag character. And the
Mhm.
fact that they got Nathan Fillion to play, and I promise you, he is going to play that character like a fucking dumb douchebag.
Exactly what you want.
And I'm very excited for it. I will for sure be seeing this in theaters. And I hope to God that I am not regretting this decision of breaking my superhero drought self-imposed restriction.
I'm telling you what, I'm gonna make this prediction. If it does not hit for you, you are going to swear them off, and you're gonna be like, I'm fucking done. I know, like that's gonna be your end point. If it does not deliver, you're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna wait another fucking 10 years.
I mean, there's no way I'm not seeing an X-Men movie when it comes out, but I will probably swear off everything but the X-Men at that point. And then again, if they fuck that up, then I don't know what I'll do.
True. Greg cried when he saw the trailer.
Oh,
Like,
see, that makes me happy. I'm happy
yeah,
your husband cried. No.
yeah. He's like he's like he sent it to me in the morning, and then he's like, I just watched it, I cried, and I'm like, thank God, because like it must not be fun for a superhero fan lately to like, you know what I mean? Like I'm such a horror buff, and to get some of the stuff that we got, it's like a little disheartening, but like they've had it a little bit rougher than we have in a
Yeah, I
sense.
mean, they get a lot more stuff made, but a lot of it is just homogenized garbage.
Yeah.
And particularly if you're a Superman fan, I mean, I'm not the biggest Superman fan. I'm more,
Mhm.
again, I like some of the other characters, but
Yep.
he is a foundational character that, like, I mean, the DC universe is built around.
Hmm.
If you don't get him right, you kind of fuck everything else up.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like my dad loves Superman. I mean,
Hmm.
he has Superman shit all over the house. Like, I
I
mean,
love it.
all over the house. So I know this is one I'm going to go see with my dad for sure.
Oh,
Um,
I love that.
but like, I don't really know how to say what it. The trailer again. I loved the trailer so much, but Superman, in my opinion, has not been done right
Hmm.
ever, with the exception of Christopher Reeve. The Christopher
Yes.
Reeve movies are one and two.
Hmm.
I mean, if you enjoy three and four, that's fine. They
Yep.
are what they are.
Yep.
Uh, but one and two are phenomenal movies that I still enjoy to this day because
Hmm.
they nail the fun of Superman, and you buy it a little bit. And
Yeah.
another thing that I like, the score in this movie, it's the same fucking score as the Christopher Reeves ones. It's just done with an electric guitar. And partly when I heard that fucking song, that
Yep.
is kind of what I'm gonna guess, partly maybe what hit Greg a little bit, but that
Yep.
hit me a little bit, and I was like, oh shit, they're doing the thing. They're doing the thing.
Yeah. He was so amped up, and he was also amped up for Nicholas Holt being Lex Luthor.
Yes, and he
Yes.
looks fucking great.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know. I can't. I'm super excited for it.
Yes.
Whoa, please be good.
I know. I'm with you. I'm like, I'm so excited to go see it in the theaters, but I'm like, for the sake of very important people in my life, please be good, because I don't know if we can take another L in the superhero realm, because
I don't know if the
rough.
DC universe can take another L. I think if this is bad, you might just want to close the doors. I don't know.
He just rewatched a whole bunch of the DC movies, and I kind of like in passing would stop and watch them, and I'm like, I just don't understand how they dropped the ball so bad. Like how Marvel in the beginning was so successful, and DC just could, for me, like it was night and day. Like and I enjoy Batman, I enjoy the characters, but it's like for me, Marvel was doing it right, and they were hitting all the checks with like the character development and the storylines and the action and you know the emotion, and then it's just like that's not existent for Marvel anymore. And then I watched DC stuff and I was just like, so Justice League, cool. Extended version, I just wasted another 2.5 hours now. Instead of 2 hours, I
Nope.
wasted two
It's
and a half.
not worth it. It's not worth it.
And I said that to Greg. I'm like, what did, because he rewatched it. I go, what did that extra half an hour enhance? Other than like wasting more time. And he's like, I actually kind of enjoyed it this time. I'm like, ugh.
I mean, I'll say, I mean, we're getting way off track here. I do think that the Snyder cut is better and it
Mhm.
makes more fucking sense.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're still dressing up a turd. I mean, you can put as much
That's it.
ranch and blue cheese on that turd as you want. It's still a turd at the end of
It's
the
gonna taste
day.
like shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm with you. So I'm just excited for it, and I let's go.
Yes.
Back to you, Jordana. What else we got on the horizon that's piquing your interest?
So for me, I'm really excited about oh my god, which one do I want to pick? 28 years later, I'm really excited for this one. I truly hope it has like the same zhoosh as the first one. The second one, I don't really remember so much. I know that I somewhat enjoyed it, but like I'm excited for this one. Of the returning franchises that are coming out this year, because we have Insidious, Saw,
This might be
The
the last
Conjuring.
Saw ever.
Yep, The Conjuring. You know what I mean? Like we're getting a lot of like Final Destination. We're getting a lot of big IPs returning, even
Mhm.
like even though The Strangers isn't like new, but like the title The Strangers is,
Yeah, yeah, a new addition to the franchise.
yes, and like a second Black Phone and a second Megan. Like I'm excited for this sequel. If I had to pick of the franchisiest movies that are coming out, I'm gonna have to I'm gonna bet my money on 20 years later.
So I loved like a lot.
Mhm.
When I was around the time this came out, I was like, zombies were I loved zombies so much.
Yeah.
And so I love 28 Days Later. I have not,
Mhm.
I own it. I have not seen it in probably 10 years.
Yeah,
And 28
okay.
Weeks Later was like super forgettable. I barely remember anything about it.
Mhm.
I am excited for this for one reason and one reason only. Danny Boyle is coming back to direct it. He directed the first one.
Fuck yeah.
He's directed some of my other favorite movies like Train Spotting. He's done Slumdog Millionaire, which is fine. Nothing I love, but he's a good director. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so this has potential to be good. The only thing I'm going to say is I feel like fans of this franchise are really acting fucking stupid right now.
Because the Killian Murphy's not coming back.
Well, they're like, Cillian Murphy's been confirmed. That's already been confirmed. He's going to have some scene in the movie. I'm presuming better be a fucking flashback because he for sure is a zombie at the end of the movie. So
Wait a second.
like,
I thought they said he wasn't coming back. I thought people were getting mad because he wasn't going to be in the movie. I thought that was the uproar.
I thought I mean I could be wrong. I'm
No,
pretty sure
I think you're right, probably.
that he is. I'm pretty sure that they couldn't keep it a secret, and he is going to have some sort of a cameo in the movie.
Okay.
That being said, because they thought he was in the trailer, and it just turned out to be some other skinny looking weird dude.
Yes, I remember that. Everyone's freaking out. They're like, no, that zombie is not him.
But like, I don't know what they're expecting. I feel like there's a lot of fans who are like, for some reason, despite if you're a fan of this franchise, that means you've seen the first movie. You know that character is dead or at the minimum a zombie.
Exactly.
What do you think you're going to like? You are setting yourself up for such a disappointment if you go into this movie being like, I can't wait to see Cillian Murphy. Like, at most, it's going to be a flashback or he's going to be in some room as a zombie. That's as much as you could possibly get with it making any fucking sense.
Exactly. And also too, I mean, that's fine if you do, but for me, if I wanted to see a returning character, I wouldn't want to see like Randy, for example. And as much as I love 3, like I hated his cameo in 3 because it's like, stop teasing us with Randy. Like you should have kept him alive. And I understandably, like you have to insert him into the rules of Scream. Like I just felt like it was unnecessary. I felt like if you're showing him, why didn't you fucking kill him? Do you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
just I don't, if I had to take it, I wish more for the character, not like having him implemented in something just to have him there. Do you know what I mean? Like wasted, like just to be like, oh, this is a 28 something later movie with him, and like I don't know, it just seems dependent on the name. No,
Yeah,
just don't
no,
have him in there.
I think I would honestly just don't even put him in the movie. That's what I would say.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
but it does feel like I'm pretty sure that they said he's going to have a small cameo in it, which that's probably just to sell tickets because people will be like, because I think stupid people are going to go like, well, I liked him in the first one. It's not about him. They've already announced that Aaron Taylor Johnson, Craven the Hunter himself, that dude's having a fucking weird year.
Yeah.
The lowest rated movie of the year, and I believe one of the most watched horror trailer of all time is 28 years later. So he's like in the worst movie of the year, potentially one of the biggest movies of the year.
We'll see. I'm out of, I picked that one because out of all the returning known names, I'm excited for that one because I truly enjoyed the first one. Not to say that I didn't enjoy like the first Conjuring, the first Saw, all of those, but like we're on like what, number 10 for Saw, we're on number
I
like
think we're past 10
7
on
for
Saw.
Insidious. We're like at what, 6 for Conjuring. I'm excited for something that's not as
A lot of franchises supposedly coming to an end. I don't believe that, but supposedly this will be the last Conjuring this year.
Yep.
This is potentially, from what I just read today, the last Saw ever, not because creatively, it's that they're just not making money anymore and they're probably going to shelve it or try and sell the license.
Which thank God, because like let's stop that. Like if you're really not getting much from it, why are we still making it? Like, and I know the name sells. I get that.
Yeah.
But like I fell asleep in the last Saw. The one that just came out what, last year or the year before? I passed out.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch that. I didn't watch Spiral. Whatever the last one I watched was the one before Spiral.
Oh, okay.
So I never saw the Chris Rock one either. But my worry is that if they try and sell it, Blumhouse is reverting the rights on Halloween. I could see Blumhouse going, let's get it and make a trilogy, baby.
And they'll be gunning for Blumhouse to get it because people think that Blumhouse does movies justice, which I'm gonna switch. Never mind. We'll wait till it comes back to me.
Okay.
Bye.
Well, I'm going to do my last positive one just because I feel like we're getting a little, I don't want to go too long here. I know it's late for you.
Mm-hmm.
Not, I just mean it's later there for you than time zone differences, people. I'm going to go with one that I have seen very little of. I saw the teaser trailer of, and I'm hoping in my heart of hearts that this does the franchise some justice because I love it. They're remaking Return of the Living Dead, and I love it. It is one of the best. It's one of the 2 best zombie movies ever made, in my opinion.
Yep.
Super duper fun, super funny. It's intentionally funny.
It's iconic.
And yes, it's iconic. Does seem like from what I'm reading, it's not a like direct sequel. I think it's going to be. It actually sounds to me like it's taking place after the first movie, but they're using whatever. It's something in the universe, and as long as they can get the tone right, have some zombies, have some fun, some kick-ass fucking music, I'm in. Like again, this could be my Twisters. This could be my Twisters of 2025. It should be easy. Mm-hmm. Zombies, fun, music. Zombies, fun, music. That's all I need. That's all you got to do.
Zombies, but practical effect zombies, music, fun. Because I don't want to see no fucking CGI. And if there is some, I want it to be as minimal as possible, but you cannot do Tarman. You're not going to do a fucking AI. Like, we're not doing that. It's going to be a
No.
practical effect, because if they cannot deliver, not I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it too, but I want to see where it's going, and I want practical. I'm nervous about the effects.
Yes, I'm very, but to me, that franchise is so underserved because
Mhm.
1, 2, and 3 are all fucking phenomenal. Everything after that is fucking garbage. But
True.
1, 2, and 3 are fucking great. And I just was always like, why did you know Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, why did all that, which by the way, I think one of those is getting a remake. I think Day of the Dead might be getting a remake now that I think about it. Which is
Oh,
my favorite zombie horror movie.
oh,
Um,
I love that.
the day, but those have had reiterations of them throughout the years. We had the big one with Dawn of the Dead with Zack Snyder, and
Yeah.
there's been some other smaller versions of them. But for some reason, Return of the Living Dead just kind of got like forgotten. Like, just like, nah, we don't need it. And I'm like, it's so fun. Like,
It is.
not every fucking zombie movie or horror movie in general has to be a fucking drag, dude. Like,
It can have some fun to it. It can have moments like the little bits of additional humor in Terrifier 3. I love it. Like him
yeah,
being excited with Santa, and a lot of people said it took him out of it, and that's like their least favorite part.
it's
I
the
loved
best
it.
part of the movie. It's my
I
favorite part of the
loved it.
movie.
Yes. Did you see pictures of him as Steamboat Willie?
Yes, I did, and I saw that trailer too. And again, it's not gonna be Terrifier, but
Right.
I'm gonna watch it. I mean, I'm gonna watch it
Same.
for sure.
With these movies, with the Pooniverse, Poon, however you say it, and like all the stuff that's happening, how can you be like, these are movies that you should not take seriously, but like watch, because I'm sure they're going to be fun. I'm sure they're going to be corny as shit. I'm sure they're going to be of like a B vibe. Not that it's
Yeah,
going to be made as a B vibe, but like I'm sure it's going to exude those vibes. Just watch them and have fun. Like I'm hearing nothing but good things about the new Peter Pan movie that just came out.
yeah, I've heard that's good. And they made a real puppet, which is already like you're a full letter grade up because you made a puppet.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, there's like 3 Mickey Mouse knockoff killers movies coming out. I'm gonna watch
Bambi?
the one with David Howard Thornton in it. That's for sure what I'm gonna do. I'll fuck the other ones. I'm watching the one with our boy.
Fucking right. And then we're getting Bambi this year too.
I'll probably pass on that one.
Yeah, I'll wait till it's streaming.
I don't like Bambi, the real movie.
I know. It's sad.
And I'm yeah, it's too sad, and so I don't want to see even like I have no desire to ever visit that franchise, and whether it's horror or not, I'm good.
I just think of it like as I don't know. I'm hoping that it's like super cheesy, like Santa Jaws. You know what I mean? Like to that. I know it's not going to be as corny as Santa Jaws, but I just want it to be in that realm of like not being super serious, but maybe it'll be gory, maybe it'll be badass, and it'll like completely take us by, off guard. But I don't know. I'm liking this like fun natured horror. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're taking something so innocent as like Peter Pan and making it like this dude is just like fucking brutally
wait.
killing these kids.
Did you say Peter Pan is the one
Yeah.
that's being well received? I'm sorry, when you said that, I guess I just heard the P, and I went to the Pinocchio one that's being made.
Oh no, the Peter Pan one that just came out, I'm hearing like good reviews. Like people are actually taken back that it was so good, because they're like it's dark, it's
Like, it's
like
better than it probably should be.
yeah, and like and to me, I root for the underdog. So like these movies come out, and I'm sure people are like, ew, what? I would never. And then they watch it, and it could be good. So I think it'd be hilarious if that was like one of the higher received movies of this year, like compared to
I'd be
something
down.
else.
The one I'm referring to is I think it's the same guy who did the Pooh-niverse movies. He's doing like a Pinocchio thing, and like they are saying it's gotten pretty decent. The things are looking good for it, and specifically, there's a video of them. They made like an animatronic puppet that looks really fucking good. Like, and I'm like, well, right there, you've already like I'm already more likely to see this because I know there's going to be a physical thing that the actors are interacting with.
Pinocchio the Unstrung, or Pinocchio Unstrung.
That's probably what it is.
I think that's what it is. Yep. Yes. I'm here for it. Like, I grew up with these movies, and to see some sort of like take on it where, like, I love this. The cover is Pinocchio's foot, his little marionette thing that makes him move, and then it's someone's hand with like a knife in it. Like, okay.
I'm down for that. That's fun.
I know. Fun. That's exactly what it is. It's like, give me some fun. Give me some fun in the mix. Okay. I'm switching to not excited.
All right. I'm kind of ready for that because there's some stuff that I'm like, uh-oh.
Now, do you want to collab? Because you're the one who brought this. Like, I love that you did, because I had no idea. Literally, like, no idea that this actually was a thing.
Well, truthfully, I didn't either. Let's just say what it is.
So apparently we're getting like multiple Halloween movies this year, which no one has been talking about. And it's just weird to me, but it is a thing. So we're getting, let me find it.
There's a fan made. So this started as I saw a listed fan made Halloween movie called Halloween. I think it's called Revenge or some shit.
Halloween Aftermath.
Halloween Aftermath. So I saw that and I was like, oh, Jordana might be interested in that because it's a fan movie, kind of in the vague of like of the realm of like the Friday the 13th ones, which I can't remember the name of them, but Don't Go in the Woods or whatever the hell it is.
Never Hike Alone.
Never Hike Alone. That's right.
Yes.
Those are really high quality movies, and
Really
kind of
good.
hoping that that's what this is. However, when Jordana typed in Halloween 2025, there was something, a couple articles popped up that she read to me, and well, you want to tell us what you found?
Which, now that I'm rereading the name of it, I'm so annoyed because it's like very much almost similar to a Friday the 13th, a new chapter. Like, so we're getting Halloween, a new chapter, a reboot of the Halloween horror series. This film will feature Michael Myers, Laurie Strode. The film is expected to have a darker, more psychological tone. For what? First off. Second bullet point, which this one really fucking pissed both of us off. Universal Pictures and Blumhouse are producing this film. Immediately, like, it's a no for me, dog. Like,
Yeah.
already in the first, just reading the title, I'm already like, eh. And then thirdly, a teaser trailer is already up for it, which I cannot believe I haven't seen it. And I'm going to watch it afterwards.
Yeah. Which I assume that's just pre-production shit, because obviously we haven't heard any casting or anything like that. So it's probably just
the music, and then it's probably like a couple leaves, and then it's a pumpkin, and it's like,
yeah.
Michael Myers is back yet again.
But I mean, between that, the television series Haddonfield, that's also in production, and then everyone's seen the images. There's a script out there floating around, which I don't know if it has been sold or not, but somebody is in the process of trying to get a Loomis prequel off the ground. I'm like, geez, like the man just went through a shredder. How can we let him rest for a few years? Let his corpse just rest a few years before we start pumping it and humping it for every dollar we can get.
Please, because honestly, like, I am so over it. I cannot. Why the fuck do we need an origin prequel like story for Dr. Loomis? Dr. Loomis is one of my most favorite characters. Not even just like a horror character, just a character of all time. I love Dr. Loomis. As much as I love him, and I'm not like, I don't need that. I don't care about that. And I love the man. Like, I don't understand. I truly don't understand what his backstory has to fucking do at all with Michael Myers and Halloween.
It makes that one is the stupidest one of them all to me, because his backstory should be nothing. He's a doctor. Like, because what's it gonna be unless it's gonna be a medical drama? I don't quite understand what the point of it is. It can't be. Oh, I also had this other patient who was the embodiment of pure evil. I just never mentioned it before. Well, okay, so you've ran into this twice. Well, no, I mean, he was just a regular fucking doctor who tried to help Michael, and he basically sensed that there was no helping Michael. Michael was an irredeemable fucking monster, right?
The blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. Like,
Yes.
he fucking said it in the first one. He fucking shot him 6 times in the second one.
Yeah, he's the embodiment of evil. Okay, cool. Yeah. So what every other patient he should have at most is nowhere near where Michael is. So why are they interesting to me? You know what I mean? It just
if you're gonna do Loomis like, okay, the only, and it's, I'm just fishing, right? And this is just because it just came out. If you're gonna do Loomis, give me a series where it's all of his fucked up patients, right? So it's a build up to Michael. So it's like the creep tapes. So he patient 0572, it's Donald Pleasance. You know what I'm saying? And then you get his backstory of how he's like a sadistic child killer something, and then you go to the next one, and then it's their story, and then it's a female. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be interesting if you got like Loomis's other patients before he reached Michael. So maybe it's like a building to evil. That would be cool.
I agree with that, but I think that would be interesting. However, I believe this is a script for a film that we're seeing around the internet, because we've seen physical pictures of the actual script. That being said, I also think that TV series could be cool, but I also think that TV series could be cool and cheaper if you took the Michael Myers-ness out of it and just had a fucking TV show about a psychiatrist, about a psychiatrist who deals with fucking murderers, and call it something completely different. Like, it doesn't have to be, you know what I mean? Like, why does it have to be Dr. Loomis? Can it just be Dr. Whoosy Whatsy and like
the Smith's Grove Files or something? You know what I mean? Like something like that. Like, give us something, like we have the creep tapes. Give us something in that vein of like, we don't need to focus on Michael Myers, but if you're going to focus on Loomis as a character, you shouldn't have to like have Michael be the focal point. If you're homing in on Loomis, have it be, him dealing with these fucking patients and the internal struggles that he's dealing with, and he's almost to his breaking point, and then they give him fucking Michael, and it just sends him off. It sends him off the edge. Do you know what I mean? And then it spirals into Halloween. I would be so happy with that, because I wouldn't have to give a fuck about building up to Michael. Like, that'd be cool as a series finale, a season finale, to have him be like, okay, well, and then you see like the interaction between him and Michael, Michael as a kid, and then leave it at, and then that's it.
Yeah, like the last scene is him, or maybe they're like, we have the very last thing. Who's my next patient? It's a child. He murdered his own sister, and blah 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 blah. Yeah,
See, so why are we not in Hollywood, and why are we not capitalizing on this? Why didn't we pitch this to this? And listen, if anyone hears this, that's of importance. Like, it gets up to the higher ups. Hire Sam and I, because we will come up with original ideas for you for like $1 million a piece.
I will say I will take far less than that as well. I'll take far less than that. You don't have to pay me $1 million. You just pay me a living wage. I'll be fine.
Yes, exactly.
I'd rather do that than what I'm doing now.
Yeah, same. But like, how crazy that is it? Well, it took us like 2 minutes, like not even 2 minutes, 3 minutes to come up with that idea. Like, why can't Hollywood do this?
Because they're all up their own assholes, and they don't know what they're doing, and they're just milking products or properties, just because they fucking have them. Not because that's my thing. As I feel like these are people who are like, these are the properties we have. Go make something out of them, as opposed to it being someone who's like, I grew up and I love this franchise, and I've had this idea just germinating inside my brain for the last 3 years, and I want to get it out. Those are the people who usually are coming to a franchise with love, as opposed to coming to it just trying because it's there and fuck it, we might as well use it
to capitalize on. Exactly, because I could have been like, oh fuck yeah, like a Loomis movie or show, cool, blah blah blah, because I saw Halloween stick so hard, but like, no, I don't want it. Like, I'm being so for real. Like, we need to have something, like, I'm only going to give one negative, because that just sent me into a goddamn tizzy.
That's fair.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna go with my negative one then, and if I'm for only doing one apiece, I gotta pick. They're remaking a movie that I love and a movie that I think you can't possibly remake.
Oh.
So they're remaking an Arnold movie. Already gigantic red flags because he's one of the most iconic. I mean, I'm not saying he's the best actor ever, but any movie that he's in, that's not like, oh, this is no, that's an Arnold movie.
Yes, you're right.
And they're remaking The Running Man, which I don't know if you've ever seen. It's not one of his bigger, gigantic hits, but very, very successful, very popular. It's basically he's on a game show. He's in a game show where he's he's been convicted of murder, and he's in a game show that is basically like American Gladiators, but they kill each other. And he's got to make it all the way through this game show. It's like through different. It's like almost like a video game. Like stage 2, he's got to fight this guy who has ice powers or like ice shit, and it's fucking crazy. It's an insane movie about.
That like, sounds fun though.
It's Arnold, and he's fucking people up, and there's like a lot of the other cast are like wrestlers, like because like
I see all that.
Yeah, and it's super duper fun. Arnold also, because I'm a super Arnie fan. Like this is when Arnie was kind of getting a big head, so like he sort of was like a kind of a notable prick on set. Like he's like, no, I'm going to smoke cigars in this movie. And they're like, well, we don't want you to smoke cigars. Like it's not in the scene. And he's like, yeah, well, I'm going to fucking do it because I like cigars. So the character smokes cigars now. Okay.
I made the decision.
Like, I believe they're like, well, where would you have gotten this? You're supposed to be a prisoner. And he's like, they won't care. They won't give a shit. And guess what? We didn't. Nobody ever asked the question where he got this shit from. He's just like, that's what I'm doing. Okay. I love it. I cannot imagine again any Arnold movie, remaking it. I mean, they tried with actually, I don't know if they've ever remade an Arnold movie.
I know. I was just say they haven't done Terminator.
They remade Conan, and that has always sucked. Besides him,
true.
They haven't done Terminator or Kindergarten Cop or any. I mean, they've done sequels to them.
They better not fucking touch Kindergarten Cop.
No, but like I mean, the issue is he's such a powerful presence on screen that those movies are his. I'm sorry that
yes.
You don't go like, oh, I can't tell you a single person besides Total Recall that directed an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie because I don't care at that point. That's an Arnold movie.
True.
And
yes.
And by the way, guess who they got to fucking play the Arnold part?
Oh my god. Don't tell me.
We talked about him earlier today.
Is it the dude from Twisters?
It's the fucking guy from Twisters.
Shut up.
No.
For real?
Yes, it's him.
What's his name?
And I'm Glenn Powell.
Yes.
I'm like, all right, dude, I'm sorry, man. You don't physically, you don't look like Arnold. You don't have the charisma of Arnold.
Who's anyone that looks like Arnold now? Who in Hollywood could play Arnold?
I mean, I would say Channing Tatum, but even he is kind of older now.
Oh yeah, good point. I didn't even think of him, but like who physicality wise could like stack up towards Arnold? Because not to be mean, and I'm not like discrediting
The Rock. That's probably it.
I was gonna say pretty much The Rock because I don't think there's any like big actors that have the physique like him.
Yeah, no, I think that, and then he also was a very on-screen. He has an on-screen chemistry about him that is just very magnetic. I mean, beyond just his muscles and everything, which obviously helps, but he has a very powerful on-screen chemistry that magnates off of him.
Yeah,
and in any movie that he's doing, whether it's fucking dumb shit like Jingle All the Way or like action movies like this,
yeah,
I don't see this Glenn Powell guy having that same. I'm sorry, you don't have the look now, and you don't have. You're kind of. I'm sorry, you're like fucking Wonder Bread. You're boring. You're basic. You're bland. You're a basic white dude. That's as much as I can say about this guy. Like, fine actor, but you're boring as shit, and you're doing a movie from one of the most iconic fucking charisma actors of all time.
Yeah, like that's. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that they're doing this, but that's fucked up. That I just I would never put this Powell dude in the same bubble, vicinity, area code as Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like
No.
I don't see it. And
Yeah.
I've never seen the movie. And
Yeah.
you already tell me that he's casted for it. I'm like, okay, right there. Like, what are we doing?
I mean, so you know, that's the beauty of an Arnold movie.
Mm-hmm.
I can just tell you Arnold's in it, and guess what? You exactly know what character he's playing, how he's playing it. Like it's just that's how he works. I mean, he basically you get action Arnold or you get comedy Arnold. Those are the two Arnolds you get, and they're it's just you put those in different movies, and they worked every time.
And this cast too. Glenn Powell, Josh Brolin. Like, why don't we have Josh Brolin play him at this fucking point? I know he's old, but like,
I'm assuming Josh Brolin will play the. So here's the thing. I'll be honest. So when it was made, they got an actual game show host to play the game show host, who's kind of the central villain of the whole fucking movie. I mean, whatever.
Yep. David Dastmalchian. No, I was kidding.
Yeah, and it was played by the guy who was the host of, I believe, Family Feud at the time.
Oh.
I'm genuine here. If you're gonna do it, get Steve Harvey. I'm being real. Like, get Steve Harvey, and like that might make it somewhat interesting. And he would be charismatic. I guarantee you, he would be.
He'd be funny. You could make it raunchy. You could add that like flair to it. That would
he could look at the camera like the way he looks at the camera.
Michael Cera's in it too, which is weird.
Oh, great.
So I wonder what role he's going to play. I guess I gotta watch Running Man before this one comes out, because now it is my goddamn goal to watch Running Man and then to watch this remake, so I could either trash it with you or give it its accolades.
I mean, if you're a fan of 90s Arnold or late 80s, early 90s Arnold, you'll have fun with it. I promise you that.
I love Kindergarten Cop. I love like Terminator. So good. Like 90s anything, I'm in. You know what I mean? Like, because back then you could pick any genre and it would be decent, because you'd have either a good comedian, a good dramatic actress, a good action actress, a good horror. You know what I mean? Like, when you think of the sub genres of movies, of film back in the 90s, it was hit. Even if it was bad, it was still good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was still fun.
Yeah, so we'll see, but I'm interested.
I think you would enjoy it.
Okay.
But I think that's a fair way for us to, I think, start off our 2021. 3 positives each that we're looking forward to, and 1 negative to hopefully take a shit on. I think that's a fair way for us to look at it. A realistic expectation that we're each hoping for. There's at least 3 good movies out there this year.
Please, movie gods, bless us with some goodness this year. But I feel like next month we should do, since it is the February, the month of love, because it's Valentine's Day, which I fucking hate Valentine's Day. We should do like an anti-Valentine's Day episode, or we should do like a what we love episode.
I'm good with that. Either or. I mean, we could do that. I mean, there's a lot of anti-Valentine's Day movies. I mean, we talked about My Bloody Valentine earlier. We could review Hard Eyes, actually.
That's what I was thinking too.
I haven't watched Valentine's, the one with Denise Richards, in a long time. I don't remember if that's good. I remember watching it a lot because I thought Denise Richards was hot, but I don't remember if it was good.
I forgot when I did. I don't know if it was like last year. It was in recent times, but I had fun with it. I remember it didn't really hit for me when I first watched it when it came out, because I think I was so like hyper fixated on like Scream and like those.
It's kind of a Scream knockoff, yeah.
Yes, but rewatching it, the deaths were really clever. Like, seeing the actors very nostalgic. I really like Valentine.
Maybe I'll have to give it a rewatch for if we end up going anti-Valentine's Day. Maybe that will be something we could talk about.
Yes, I'm all in. And you know what, too, guys? If you have any suggestions for us, any topics that you'd like to hear, anything, like, let us know. Maybe we could do like a poll or something. But Sam and I, like, literally, it's so easy for us to create content. Not to toot our own horns, but we literally could just hit record and talk about anything and everything, and it would turn into a 2-hour conversations.
Yeah, because God knows where it'll end up. I mean, we lost track of it earlier in this episode, but
I know. I love unwinding our tangents because we're like,
yeah, we're like, wait,
we'll
how the
stop
fuck
and
did
we're
we get
like,
here?
what did we talk? What were we saying? I love it.
But other than that, unless you got anything else you want to talk about, I feel like that's going to be the end of the January episode.
Don't ask me that because we can talk for hours. But yes, I think that this is a good episode. I hope everyone enjoys it.
And I hope we do have some good movies in 2025. I hope we have a good year, you and I together. I hope you have a great year over it with Pretty Killer and The Terrifying 3. Let's hope for a good year and some good movies overall.
Yes, good vibes, just good things all around. I'm with you. I second that.
All right. With that note, guys, I think we're going to sign off. We're going to say thank you for listening. Like, rate, subscribe, share, blah, 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 blah. Do all that fun stuff. And yeah, we will see you in a couple weeks.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Bye.